I'll fucking do my best, okay? That's all we can do here on the Totally Unstructured podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Totally Unstructured podcast, where there's no script, there's no structure. It's totally... Fuck you. It's totally unstructured is what he was supposed to say, and he knows that, but he decided not to. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Yes, it has been 84 years, 84 days since our last podcast due to just a variety of different reasons. Some of it serious, some just, not feeling it. It's not our job or anything, and I know that makes you feel bad, and it makes me feel bad. But, shit happens, It is what it is. But hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Totally Unstructured podcast. We're happy to have you here. We're happy to be here, and we are definitely on top of everything. There we go. There's the chat open so we can read that when we need to. We're on top of everything all the time. So a lot of things have happened. A lot of things have somewhat changed, somewhat not changed. There are updates I need to do about stuff that I've talked about on the podcast many a times and now have actually come to fruition that I get to discuss. I don't know if you have anything in particular you want to discuss at all, but I'm excited to hear.
Not really, no.
Okay, well, I'm excited to hear in the event that you do or anything. But nonetheless, welcome back.
I might have one, but it's a very short topic that'll be like it's this.
Okay, well, I want you to start with your very short topic. That's it's this.
Oh, I was just going to be like, what do you think because a lot of people, they have like their this is Magic related. They have their decks that are like not necessarily strong or not necessarily like great, but it's your pet deck. It's the one that you love playing all the time. It may not win all the time. It may not do what it's meant to do, but it's still fun regardless. I'm just curious as to what your pet deck is, and I think I know what it is, but I could be completely out to left field.
That's a problem because it is my strongest deck.
It is Sephiroth?
No, Sephiroth is not my strongest deck anymore.
Oh, so I was going to say Sephiroth would be your pet deck.
Sephiroth was my first, ever true commander deck, because I had commander decks before. So my first ever true commander deck was, not Wylan. What's his name? It's a precon commander. Katie bought it for me, not knowing what it was.
What it was the
Boros guy, the red-white Boros equipment dude.
Osgear? Nope.
I can't remember his name. He's dark.
There's many of those.
There's many of them, but
Wyleth?
No, Wyleth is from Baldur's Gate.
No, there's another guy that was.
Maybe it is Wyleth.
Yeah, it's Wyleth, but a different card. Wyleth the Steel Shaper?
I don't remember.
It doesn't matter.
He has dark skin and a white flopped over mohawk and a crazy looking sword, and that sword is also its own equipment in the deck. It's a starter commander.
Yeah, it's Wyleth.
Okay,
it is.
Okay, because there was another commander from Baldur's Gate that was red that mattered on, and whenever you rolled the dice, it got a +1/+1 counter.
Yeah, that was
Maybe that's Wylin.
Wylin, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Wylith was my first ever commander deck, and then I didn't even know what commander was. Katie just bought it for me, and I was like, this is weird, and I had to look
Katie, it's your fault.
Yeah, it is your fault. But I didn't even know what it was. I was just like, this looks weird kind of thing, and then as I was going through it, I was like, oh, wait, no, hold on. I think Jackson has something like this with one of his cards, which you did, which was Rafik.
Yep.
Rafik of the Many at the time. So that's how I discovered commander from that, and I felt really bad when I looked into it, and I looked at all the different types of commanders I could do and stuff, and then I immediately took Wyleth apart, and I felt so bad because Katie had just bought it for me, and then
it's cards that you're using.
Well, yeah, and that's what I explained it to her. I was like, I'm really, really sorry, but I have to tell you, I know you bought this for me, but I literally took it apart about a week later after I really discovered it and I wanted to use cards of it and other things. And Katie was like, I don't fucking care. As soon as it left my hands, it's not my problem anymore. So I was like, okay, cool.
That sounds like Caitlin.
Yeah, so I was
that sounds like Caitlin.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if Katie and I were dating at the time. I think we were. So I felt really, really bad going to her and be like, I took your gift and I just fucking ripped it apart and threw in all those things. But Katie was like, as soon as that shit left my hands, I don't care what you do it anymore. It's yours. Do what you want with it. So I was like, all right, cool. I feel better about that. So that was my first deck. I don't know what was the first deck I ever built on my own. I don't know. I think it was Sephiroth, honestly.
I think it
was. But even Sephiroth was a precon that I then heavily upgraded and modified, especially when Baldur's Gate came out and there was even more dungeon cards.
Yeah, and see, that's the one I was like, it's the one you've had the longest, and you put a lot of love and a lot of time into making it.
It's definitely the one I've had the longest and had the most cards
go into it. So that's why I was thinking that it was your pet deck. But if that's wrong,
not anymore.
I'm curious as to know which one is.
Atraxa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Atraxa is definitely my pet deck. It's definitely my most expensive deck, and it's definitely my strongest deck.
Yeah, that's fair.
By a massive margin. I think my second most expensive deck is probably Dragon, but it's not even my most powerful deck.
Because just Dragon doing Dragon things.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, ironically enough, like Dragon
I don't
itself,
know. I think Sephiroth might be up there with the amount of Praetors you've stuck into that thing.
Yeah, but Atraxa also has a lot of Praetors.
Eh.
I have a lot of double Praetors. Like I have
Yeah.
3 versions of OG Elish Norn. The Phyrexian
Ooh.
Text Elish Norn is in Atraxa.
Mhm.
Regular Elish Norn is in both Sephiroth and I think... No, never mind. Oh, no, yes, Sephiroth, and I think I have both OG Norn and Mother of Machines Norn in Marchesa.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, the Phyrexian Text Norn, and anything I could find that was Phyrexian Text is in Atraxa because it was on brand and on theme.
Well, of course.
And that's partially why Atraxa is so expensive. I also took every single one of my shock lands and every single one of my...
dual lands.
No,
like,
not duals. I have no duals, goddamn.
dual lands.
What are they called? There's shock and...
Pain lands? The ones that deal damage to you?
I don't know. It's... So... what the fuck is it?
Lands?
No, it's... So, because the shock lands are the ones that you pay 1 life to search your library for...
No,
something
shock
like that.
lands are the ones that you can pay to have them come in untapped.
Okay, then what's the land that you tap 1 life to go search?
I think they're just fetch lands.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Fetch and shock. Okay,
Yeah.
that's the 2 I'm thinking of. So every one of my fetches and every one of my shocks that I had in any other decks, I removed all of them, and all of them are in Atraxa now.
Yeah, well, yeah. 4-color deck.
Yeah, pretty much. So, and the one shock land I had that was red and white, or it was either red and white or red and black. It was either Rakdos or Boros. I can't remember which one it was. I sold to Quantum. You were there when I sold it to Quantum because I needed a little bit of cash just then and there.
Yep.
But every other shock and fetch I have is in Atraxa because, yes, 4 colors. And also, Atraxa is my baby. In terms of all the decks I have, which ones I would put like my most favorites to just play and own, it would go Atraxa, Sephiroth.
And then it gets weird.
I would put both Vecna and Ur-Dragon on the same playing field.
Really? I find that surprising.
I like Ur-Dragon because dragons, and also
Yup.
just I find it fun to play the Ur-Dragon, which is like $100 card, but I have the oversized one, which is $2 but it's still official.
They actually put. Did you see Quantum had like a section for just like
I
the
did.
oversized
I
cards?
did see
And
that.
it's like, hey, I know somebody who
Yeah.
might have inspired that.
Yeah, I saw that section, and I was like, oh, there's a couple fun ones in there, but none of them that I really wanted to play or buy. But I love pulling out the Ur-Dragon now because I could be like, well, bam, and people are like, oh, you're playing Ur-Dragon, it's the big oversized one. Yeah, you know what's the best part about this, bitches? $2 official, not even proxy. That's the best part, and I've grown to like it more so because I was at the time I was like, it's a way for me to play Ur-Dragon without proxying it and still have it be official and cheap because it was only $2 for the oversized. But it feels even better now because
it's chunky.
Because it's chunky. It's a 10/10 fucking dragon. It's essentially the god of all dragons. And when you fucking
Move out of the way, Tiamat.
yeah, well, Tiamat's now went from commander to just in the deck now. But and when you slap that fucking oversized Ur-Dragon down, it feels so good. So I've only done it twice. Excuse me,
Because fucking 10 mana or whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's like
4 mana plus
ridiculous.
Wooburg, so 9 mana. Yeah,
I mean, he also reduces his own cost, so
yes, so technically 8 mana.
technically 8, but still.
Yeah, but still, it's still a lot of mana. But that's the most fun for me is to just slap that down, and but I got that fun when I proxied the Vecna token because I hate this. So. Because Vecna, the way Vecna works is that you need the Book of Wild Darkness, the Hand of Vecna, and the Eye of Vecna. And then when you sack all 3 and you exile all 3, then you make the Vecna token. The official Vecna token
It's
is just
there.
the Vecna art.
Indestructible.
Yeah, it's just the Vecna art, indestructible, 8/8, and it says nothing else.
Yep.
But it has
All
all
of
the
the
abilities
abilities.
of those 3 cards.
Yep.
So you either have to remember all 3 abilities just off the top of your
Or
head,
just have 'em there.
or just keep the cards on the side so you remember them. And I didn't want to do that because I was like, that's just going to get so much. So I was making the proxy version of it on a proxy site, and I was going to print it out to the regular size.
And you
But
were
my
like,
printer wouldn't let me scale the card down to magic card size. It would only go down so
So
far.
this wasn't out of
No,
choice.
no,
You
it
actually
w-
were forced to do
I was
it.
forced to because I tried to print it down to as small as I could, and it was like, I think it was like an inch bigger than the actual magic card size itself, and my printer refused to make it any smaller. So I just went, fuck it, I'm just gonna use it like this. But I didn't like doing it, and then I realized when I was going through my dungeon cards, which are all also the oversized cards, I was like, wait a minute. So I went.
Hold up.
I went back to the printer and kept on printing, going up a size, reprinting it, measuring, going up a size, reprinting and measuring it until it fit into my oversized Ultra Pro sleeve,
Yep.
and then I just put it in there behind just one of my Plane Chase cards that I have, and I don't even use them anymore because I have all the fun Plane Chase on my phone. So whenever I play Plane Chase, I just go through my phone. So I just I flipped a Plane Chase card, put the artwork in there, and I was like, yeah, it looks dull because my printer's ass, but it works. So I did that with Vecna.
It'll fucking do.
Yeah, so I did it with Vecna, and then realized, wait, I could do the same thing with Merit Lage because Merit Lage is in the deck. Dark Depths is in the deck, which makes Merit Lage. So I was like, did the same thing with that one. Flip Plane Chase card, put the artwork in there, bam, and it just feels fun doing that. So, but anyways, yeah, I would say Atraxa, Sephiroth, Dragon, and Vecna tied because they're both fun. I just love dragons; they're fun, and I love the stupidness of playing Vecna and then getting immediately smited and feeling like dog shit afterwards. It's not just you, it's everybody.
It's everyone.
and that's just kind of fun. It's never super worked. It's won a couple of games, but not by playing Vecna, which is the worst part. I've never won a game with Vecna by playing Vecna, and I've never won a game.
The removal is immediate.
Yeah, it's immediate, and everyone who's like ever played against it can see it coming from a mile away.
Yep.
The moment I play either Hand or Eye or Book of Valedictors, they're like, I remember this, and it's fucking gone. And it's, there is one, I think there's like one or two cards that can get artifacts back from exile, which I need to put in that deck because once I play Vecna, that's it. That's the one time I can play Vecna ever because those cards go to exile, and I have no way to get those cards back from exile.
And it's not like where you're in like it's not like a Vecna deck that you can have 4 of each, like a play set of each. It's not an option.
Yep, and I have no way to copy target artifact or anything. I have nothing like that, so I need to fix that, but I don't. Anyways, before we continue, also, hello, Nerd of Chaos. Hello, welcome over. Thanks for swinging by. Bussin' after over 2 months. Damn, yes, I know. Welcome.
Yep.
We bussin'. It's fine. Fetch lands, brother. That was the word. And no duels shaking my head. Yeah, okay. You want to fucking sponsor me? Give me $2,000 to go spend on a fucking white border duel? I'll do it.
I think the cheapest duel lands are like $350 American.
Oh yeah, it's dumb.
It's like
it's unreasonable. But I mean, yes, duels are good. They're incredibly broken because at the time of printing,
if I was to spend that money on a land, it'd be something like, the fucking Gaia, the Cradle of Gaia, or whatever it is, where you add a green for each creature you control. That's a lot better.
So it's, Gaia's Cradle. I think it's Gaia's Cradle.
Gaia's Cradle,
yeah. That was awesome.
And that one is still like $1,000.
Yeah, because
so
it's
like,
dumb.
Fuck no.
Yeah.
You white border duels, gross.
I mean, white border cards already, I've never been a fan of white border cards. I understand why they did them, but
I don't.
Oh, you don't know the reasoning why?
No.
Oh, so long story short, when Magic was initially printing, they went through every set and they only printed the set a couple of times and they move on to the next set. But then people didn't like that when cards came out, you had the chance to buy them and they would never come out again. And Magic at the time,
FOMO.
Well, yes, but it's always been that way. Ever since the dawn of time, you could always buy card packs and just those, and you just see what you get. It's always been the kind of randomness. But they
always get a rare sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes fucking Brothers War fucking challenge that.
Dominaria.
Sorry, the Dominaria really.
Brothers War was good.
Brothers War was fine.
I liked Brothers War.
Brothers War was great. But yeah, so what they did initially is they would print the set of cards, and then once they were done with that set, they moved on and they went to Arabian Nights, and they printed that set, and they went on to whatever came after Arabian Nights, I can't remember, but they would only ever print that set once, and then they moved on from that set, and the cards were out there, and if you got them, great. If you didn't, oh well, try to find a dealer. And enough outrage came out about that Wizards decided, okay, we're going to reprint certain cards, but they didn't want to take away from those people who were told initially the set was printed once, and if you got the cards, you felt like an exclusive member because you had that card, and if that card got reprinted, you didn't feel like an exclusive member for having that card anymore because there was reprints out there. So Wizards' great idea was, we'll reprint certain cards from old sets.
Like, we'll give them white borders.
Bingo.
Which makes them awful looking.
Bingo. That's exactly it. And so any reprinted cards from old sets, they gave them a white border so that people knew that this wasn't the original card, so you could still feel like exclusive member for having the original black bordered card, and then anybody else just got white border reprints.
And now we're like, hey, give us reprints of good cards, so they're not fucking expensive.
Yeah, so they don't do white borders anymore. But that was.
Speaking of fucking expensive, where'd you put your foil Great Henge?
Oh, that's also in Atraxa.
Oh my god.
No, sorry, I lied. It's in Dragon because I have a lot more bigger creatures in there that will reduce the cost of Great Henge, because it's reduce the cost of Great Henge by X equals to the most powerful creature on your day. So yes, sorry, I put Great Henge in Dragon. So, but yes, that's That's original for Weight Border.
Gross.
Yeah.
That
And now we have stuff like the reserve list, which, do you know about the reserve list?
the stuff that will never get reprinted.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. The list of cards that Wizards of the Coast has agreed to never reprint because there are people who out in the world who own the originals of those cards, and they have banded together, and they long ago went to Wizards and they said, hey, we understand you did the White Border thing, but we're very, very upset, and we don't want certain cards to be reprinted that were not reprinted in White Border. And they said, never, ever reprint these cards again because for whatever reasons. And Wizards went, sounds good. We're going to keep the value of those cards sky high, and we're never going to reprint these cards, and they made the reserve list. So those elite few get to feel popular, and then they can trade that card between them and make massive millions off of it every single time because there's only like 1 or 2 of those cards ever in existence, and they're never getting reprinted because they're on the reserve list. So, but
Poor Wizards.
yep. And nobody, the only people that want the reserve list are the people who have cards on the reserve list.
Mm-hmm.
Literally every other person I've ever seen on YouTube or talked to that talks about the
Doesn't
reserve
give
list
a fuck.
doesn't want the reserve list to exist because it's
Well,
so
no.
dumb.
It shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I was like,
If they were to reprint those, they would make more money.
yes, but then that elite group
They
would come
get,
after
They
them.
would get pissy, but
Yeah,
who
and-
gives a fuck?
because they're really expensive cards that they've had in locked glass cases forever will can suddenly go down in value, and that's what they don't want. They want to feel like the exclusive club.
As if that wouldn't happen to any other item.
Correct.
That would happen to literally anything, any card, any. It doesn't have to be any card. It could be literally any item. Gold. If we found more gold, plummets. Like artificial scarcity. Why?
Yep.
I hate that.
Yep.
I don't like that at all. That's stupid.
Nobody does. The only people that like it are the people who have cards
Who
on the
are-
reserve
who
list.
benefit from it,
Yeah,
of course.
and Wizards has even come out and said, well, not Wizards, but Mark Rosewater, who's like the lead creative designer at Wizards for Magic the Gathering, he's come out and said that he wants to abolish the reserve list.
Good.
But he legally can't.
Yep.
There are legal bindings in place that allows Wizards of the Coast not to abolish the reserve list. That's how far up it's gone. So, but Wizards itself has been like, we would love to get rid of this bullshit, but we legally can't. So it's so bad.
That's why they just have to reprint them with Secret Lair.
Well, they already technically did reprint them. It was called Magic 30th Anniversary. That's how they reprinted those reserve list cards. But they were not allowed.
They were proxies.
Yeah, they were not allowed into. Well, they never called them proxies. They were just not allowed in official tournament play. That is all they said, and they had different backings on them.
Yep.
And everybody else went to that and went, so they're proxies. And Magic went, no, they're just not allowed in official tournament play. So they're proxies. And yeah, we saw how that
Wizards
went.
does interesting things.
Yep.
Whether or not they're good is questionable.
Yep. So, anyways, Atraxa, Sephiroth, Vecna, Ur-Dragon,
Well, and then what else is left?
Marchesa.
Is that it? You only have 6?
Yeah, I've only got 6. I've got 5 in that box, and then I have Abaddon, which I'm going to be taking apart pretty soon.
No.
Yeah, I just don't. If I'm going to play any of my decks, I'm not going to play the Abaddon Precon because it's just going to get stomped. So I'm probably just going to take it apart.
See,
I want to rebuild him again because I do like Cascade. I really enjoy the random chaos bullshit of Cascade. I think it's very, very fun. But there are just better Cascade cards out there.
Absolutely.
I think I would still like to run Abaddon as the commander because he's enjoyable. Yeah, and he's solid, and you don't even need the chaos theme. He's just, if you play cards with Cascade, they get Cascade, or no, sorry, not even that. He just makes all cards you play Cascade X equal to
the first one, anyway.
I think it's equal to the first one. So you don't even need.
It's the amount of life that
That's it.
bonus
Yes,
lost.
yes. So Cascade really only comes into effect in your second main after you do your
Unless
attacks.
you have like pinging effects.
Yes,
or
like
something.
Let the Galaxy Burn. Every time you play a card, the opponent takes damage equal to the mana cost of that card.
Or Ruinous Powers.
Or Ruinous Powers. Or is that the card I'm thinking of that does that?
Yeah, I think that's
That might
the
be
one
it.
that steals cards and then deals damage.
Oh,
when you cast
yes.
them.
Yeah, other stuff like that pinging. So
Yep.
But
like the time you stole all my lands.
yeah, that was fun. That was an enjoyable time.
It was so stupid. Every time he flipped it, it was a fucking land.
Yeah, I was like, oh, perfect, mine, thank you. And it's like, it's not even, I don't even want these, but fucking extra mana is extra mana. It's not doing me any extra damage here, but mana's mana, so.
And then like I was mana screwed at the time, I think. And
Probably.
I was like, no, stop
Yep.
taking him.
Get fucked. Ruinous Powers is chaos. What do you want, baby?
Yep.
So. But So that was my pet deck. Atraxa is my pet deck. I know you were like, what's maybe not your most powerful, it's just the most fun. But Atraxa is both my most powerful and the most fun. So
fair enough.
I think the list of like my enjoyable decks also goes in power, which I don't know if maybe that I'm just a power gamer and that's how that works.
You're not me, therefore you're not a power gamer.
That's true. Your most powerful deck by far is Kinnan, and you barely play Kinnan. At least at Quantum, you barely play Kinnan.
The reason why is because I don't want to be that person that just like always plays the strongest thing. Like I don't need to play my strongest deck every time to know that it's strong.
Yeah, but that's my problem. My strongest deck is both my most fun deck. So.
But the difference between Atraxa and Kinnan is a little bit of a gap.
Yeah, well, because they're both very strong, but Kinnan's strong in he just insta plays anything in your deck because you have quadrillion fucking mana.
Yep.
My deck is strong because I have Infect and I have a lot of it and I can dish it out very effectively and fast.
Yep.
But I win through Infect. You win through just every creature in my library is now on the field because I have infinite mana. And not just infinite colorless mana, which you can also do, but just infinite fucking blue and green mana. So get fucked. And I keep drawing 5.
Thank you, Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Yeah, it's dumb. So this is why you aren't home.
Yes, this is why I'm not home.
Oh, did you just tell him, like, I'm not home, whatever you want or something?
Yeah, basically he was like, hey, I'm actually home tonight. I'm like, fuck, I'm not. Yeah. And I'm not there tomorrow either. And he's like, no.
Get wrecked, bitch. Why aren't you at home tomorrow?
Commander.
Oh.
I might.
I mean, you're home for the... Oh, wait, no, you're not home for most of the day. You work again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Never mind. This is your last week of work.
Oh, sorry. Tomorrow is Tuesday. I'm stupid. I'm home tomorrow.
Get fucked.
my days are totally fucked right now.
We're pulling your fingers, baby.
I am home tomorrow. I definitely thought it was fucking...
He got it figured out. It's fine, Dalton. We're keeping you on your toes, you know. Keeping your blood pressure up. Keeps your heart going.
He doesn't need that when he works.
That's true. The man's already fucking huffing paint fumes all day. So,
Are you doing okay? Are you doing better? Or are you still dying? I need to know.
Same goes for you, nerd. How you been? I haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, well, we haven't streamed in a while.
Well, also true. You know what?
You haven't streamed in a while.
That's true because I stopped streaming because I realized 2 things. One, I wasn't super enjoying just playing video games all the time on the channel that I'm always at a crossroads with things. With especially with my YouTube channel, I'm always at a crossroads. And I've just gotten used to it, but I don't like that I'm always at a crossroads. But at the same time, I do, because if everything was streamlined and easy, then it wouldn't feel worth it. This is a bad rabbit hole. But anyways, before we continue down this rabbit hole, though, because we're going to go down it, Lord Ghost Cat, my blood pressure hasn't been high since I got fired, Lamau. Okay, fair enough.
Which was for the best.
True. You're at a job now that pays you way more, but it also poisons you with paint. So you win some, you lose some.
He says, my voice is still kind of fucky and my nose is still stuffy. Okay, well, we take that.
We take fucky and stuffy, I guess. Wow, that sentence on it.
That's his like normal state of being. Let's be honest here.
Is fucky and stuffy?
Yes.
My condolences. So, crossroads I'm at right now. So I originally quit streaming entirely. Well, not entirely. I had said I would stream when I had like something worthwhile to stream about, because at the time I was doing flight lessons, which I'm not anymore. I'll get into that. I was doing flight lessons, and I was just overwhelmed in terms of work. And then when I wasn't working, I was flying, and when I wasn't working or flying, I was also doing online lessons for flight school. And I was just like, if I'm going to go live, I didn't want to go live to just play a video game and have people hang out while I was just playing video games, because one, I barely play video games in my off time. Really, the only time I play video games is if I'm playing League with you and Dalton, or now Darktide with you and Alex. And I played Darktide a little bit on my own yesterday because
I heard. You don't want to know how I heard?
Because you just saw it on Steam?
No, I heard from fucking Duncan because he saw you.
Oh.
Yeah, I was just like, that's a weird thing, but sure.
Why did Duncan... I've been playing Darktide for a couple of days now with you guys. Why did Duncan just randomly be like, oh, he's playing Darktide by himself?
He doesn't... I don't know, because it was in the morning.
Oh. Right. Oh, either way. But yeah, because I was just close enough with the Preacher that I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go play on my own, get up to the Thunderhammer, just see what it's like, so I don't have to hang behind you guys, because you guys are all higher levels than me and everything. And I also wanted to see if I could finally get my fucking Imperial icon next to my frame. Guess what? Still haven't. But either way, finally got all versions of the Thunderhammer. I don't like him.
No.
It's so I've found I know what I like about the Preacher. I don't like slow swinging weapons.
You like zig, 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 zig.
I don't like slow weapons, even if it's really damageable. I don't like that it's bah and it's only one target. That's what angers me. Is that the regular swing is only one target. The heavy swing is multiple, but that shit takes 4 seconds to wind up. I was like, bam! And, oh my god! It was like by that point my shield's gone to fucking 50%. So it's just like, ugh. And that's in both Thunderhammer versions. So it's just like, eh. So if I'm gonna play the Preacher again, I think I'm gonna go back to a faster weapon, just a faster overall weapon.
Probably the Chain Axe.
Probably a Chain Axe, or even just the Excruciator, whatever the fuck.
Eviscerator.
That's the word. Excruciator. The Eviscerator, because at least it's.
We ain't Delgirl, dog.
Because at least its regular attack is a sweep. And I just find myself, if I'm going to be getting into melee combat with hordes, I don't want to be trying to hit them one at a time or sweeping in really, really slow bursts. I want to be sweeping fast. So
and I unironically like the shovel because it does have the sweeps, but it also has like a fucking lunge, like stab.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy that one for some reason.
I also got all the way up to the shotguns. I tried playing the shotguns. I enjoy shooting the shotgun. I find it incredibly fun. I fucking hate reloading that son of a bitch. God, that shit is irritating.
Yep.
Because it's one fucking shell at a fucking time.
Yep.
Oh, it's so irritating. I don't like it. So I'm probably going to go all the way back to the fucking infantry gun where it's just click, 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 boom, done. I have 28 shots. I can aim down sights. I can fucking one-tap anybody on a headshot with the aim down sight. Perfect. So, but anyways, that's where I'm at right now. But anyways, so I just decided that I don't want to quit streaming for the time until I could stream like a fun event where like we're doing an unboxing of Magic cards or we're doing something spectacular, like something worthwhile watching and worthwhile to enjoy, instead of like, hey, Wingless, the guy who does videos on Wizards of the Coast being dick shits and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, is playing
accurate.
Yeah, it was playing Elden Ring. It's just like it felt like a crossroads. But I never wanted to funnel my YouTube channel into only one thing, which is why the banner says the place for fantasy. That's why the banner says that, because I wanted anything that was fantasy genre related, I wanted to be able to make a video about it. But unfortunately, YouTube promotes niching down as narrow as possible. And I was already somewhat niching down when I went, I'm going to make content about Dungeons & Dragons, Magic the Gathering, and Warhammer. Those are my three. It was all fantasy, but those are going to be the three niches. And I did all three for some time. And I slowly weaned off of Warhammer because I just kind of phased out of Warhammer. I wasn't really playing it enough. And I'm not super well versed in the rules to talk about the rules or anything. I made a couple occasional funny haha videos in terms of Chaos, especially when Chaos still wasn't getting 2 wounds, for fuck's sakes. But now we finally got that, so it's whatever. So fun videos about that. But like I'm not bricky in terms of like keeping up to date on rules, and I don't know
either.
And I don't know every army very well. So even when updates were coming out every single day, I couldn't look at them and be like, oh, it's different than this, because I don't fucking know. So I just kind of weaned off of 40K. I still want to make content about 40K because I love 40K and I do enjoy it. But the amounts of stuff that I feel I could do in terms of 40K and do well is very narrow. So I mainly just focused on Magic the Gathering and Dungeons & Dragons, and even Magic the Gathering I'm slowly kind of weaning off of. I'm not trying to. I just noticed I enjoy making videos about Dungeons & Dragons more because I just know a lot more about Dungeons & Dragons. And the last video I did about Magic the Gathering flopped, and I spent a long time working on it, which was the Infect video. It got like 100 views, which sounds great, but welcome. This is how YouTube works. This is the fun time. This is the part that drives every YouTuber insane. When you start out on YouTube, you have 0 subscribers, you have 0 views, you have nothing, you have 0 likes, you got no bitches, no maidens, no grass, you got nothing. It's you have a field of fucking nothing wasteland. You make one video, it gets 0 views. You make another video, it gets 2 views. Boom, you're sailing. Shit's grand. Those 2 views, your sister and your mother, but it's 2 views. You make your third video, 5 views. Sailing. Amazing. Fucking skyrocket, you're on high noon. 4th video, 27 views. Now you're on cloud 9. That shit has quadrupled in views, and you don't even know who they are, and that's the best part, because it's no longer your family or your friends watching, it's random internet people, and that shit is dopamine, and you chase that. So you make your 6th video, 4 views, and you fucking crash down because it's not the 27 views from last video. But 2 weeks ago, when you made that second video that got 2 views, you were on the same feeling of Cloud 9 that you were with the 27 views, but now that you just made a video that got 5 views, you feel like dog shit because it's not the video that just got 27 views. And that cycle continues. So while you still have a slow rise all the time, YouTubers primarily only ever look at the most recent stuff that they're getting. And if their next thing doesn't equal their recent stuff, then it dips. It's like, I've fallen off, I'm irrelevant, I'm garbage and everything. But you look at it, and anybody else who is like underneath you in terms of subscribers and views looks at it and is like, I fucking wish I could get that. Like, there are channels out there with like 20 subs that wish they got 100 views on a YouTube video. They would do anything for that, and I've been there. So when I say that my Infect video flopped because it only got 100 views, most people would say it's still 100 views, and I have to try to keep myself in mind of that, because my most recent YouTube video, the end of the Golden Age of Dungeons and Dragons, got over 7,000 views. It's doing fucking phenomenal. It's great. It's doing fantastic. It's got over 90% of the thumbs up rating. It also made $38 so far. So it's doing fucking fantastic, and it's all great. That's excellent. That's awesome. So when you go back to the Infect video and it's 100 views, it's like comparatively dog shit, fail, garbage, and it's awful. But and that's just how things work. Is my average views have now been anywhere between 500 to 1,000 is my average. So anything below 500 is considered now to me a fail because of my average view count. So, but it's hard to look at that because when you look at it, it's like, it's still 100 views. It's still like, that's 100 views you didn't have, and anybody else lower than you would fucking kill for 100 views. So you have to work your brain, but it's that hard thing, because there are even bigger YouTubers who are like, if my video doesn't get 1 million views, I'm falling off. Like, I'm garbage now and everything. And I have to sit here and be like, I fucking wish I got 1 million views on a video, but it's because it's all in perspective for your growth and everything. So, but, yeah, so I'm kind of slipping from Magic the Gathering content because I spent so much time making that Infect video, and then it
didn't do
flopped. It didn't do as well as my regular videos do, and then I can make a short that just gets 600 views in fucking 24 hours, and it took me 10 seconds to film in the living room. It's like, it's garbage. So
content is fun.
Yeah, it's very difficult. I love doing it, but there are so many fucking hardships with it. But anyways, however, so coming all the way back down this rabbit hole, we've reached to the point where I'm going to come back to streaming because, one, I've realized something. And I mean, a lot of people are going to look at this and like, that's obvious, but you need to understand you're not sitting in this chair. You're not looking at things.
I'm sitting in this
You're
chair.
sitting in that chair. You're sitting in my fucking kitchen chair, not the gamer chair, not the winged chair. You understand?
I can grab that chair.
That's not even a chair. That's a fucking footstool. That's my playing Breath of the Wild stool, or Tears of the Kingdom, whatever. That's
Same
what that
difference.
is. You know, it's effectively the same game. Oh, we'll talk about that later. Oh, there are so many things about that game that makes me super angry. I also have a real hot take that I know you're not gonna like, and the internet's not gonna like, but I got shit to say. Anyways, so we'll get to that later. But so I'm gonna come back to streaming because I realized something really, really important about streaming that I kind of realized afterwards, and a lot of people probably once again are gonna be like, well, yeah, no shit, dumbass.
I'm gonna no shit you, dumbass, aren't I?
Probably, maybe. I don't know if you will actually, but I think some other people would. But from this side, it wasn't super obvious. Streaming is a lot more than just me playing a video game and people like hanging out. And I said this in my announcement. I didn't want to have a stream where people just came down and just hung out or listened to in the background while I just played fucking Elden Ring or just beat my head against a wall for a video game. It's not fun. It's not entertaining. I wanted to stream something very worthwhile. However, doing that, just streaming that, just doing even just a nonsense video game, it gives people a chance to hang out as a community.
Yep.
Because the Discord, sure, it's there, but nothing's happening in the Discord. My Discord's not big enough. There's not enough people in there for something to be happening all the time to interact about and talk about and, you know, communicate and interact with. When I'm streaming, though, there is. Because I'm streaming a video game, and even if you don't care about the video game or something, but if you enjoy watching me stream, there are certain people who come to my stream, and these people are wonderful. Thank you guys very much. The people who come to my stream, they don't give a fuck when I'm streaming, but they want to hang out with me, and they want to hang out with other people in the community, and they don't give a shit what I'm doing. They just want to be there. They want to be involved. I'm
gonna put a little point here. And it's not as easy as going into the Discord and just being in a call.
Correct.
Because a lot of the time, you won't get people that will hop in with you because the weird etiquette that goes wrong. Like, should I join this person? Is it okay if I do this? And I'm calling all of us out, but we're all little bitches, and we won't.
Yeah.
You will.
I will. Yeah,
you will, because we're anytime Dalton and I are just like sitting there playing games, you're like, "Hey, yo, what's up, fuckers?" As you come in, and it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah,
because I didn't hear the badoop, and I just like shit myself.
Yeah.
Anyways, but that's a big reason, and you having a focal point to bring everybody together, that's a big reason.
Yeah,
and that's what you're saying there. That's why that streaming is a very good thing.
Yes,
because it brings the community together, and it's not something that you need to feel like you're intruding upon.
Yes, because even if you don't do anything, you can still feel like you're a part of something without actively taking part of it.
And if you wanted to, it's as easy as saying, "Hey, what's up?" Instead of physically putting yourself into a call with someone, and it was just a lot more personal. This is as personal as you want to make it,
and
which is super important for a lot of people.
Yep. And especially like with the Discord, like right now looking at the Discord, there's nothing happening in there. There's nobody saying anything in any of the chats. So
that's fine.
So there's nothing to jump into, and that's fine. I'm not saying like there's got to be something happening every single day, but the Discord itself is not big enough for there to be something to always interact with and going on. And what usually happens in that Discord is one or two people will say something, and then we'll all kind of like collectively jump in on it and have our say and talk about a meme and riff, and then it dies out, and there's nothing until somebody else start something, and then it happens again. But but there's not. The Discord I just counted today has 89 members. I can guarantee you maybe 10% of those members even remember they're still in that Discord, because there are people on that Discord who I know for a fact haven't checked that Discord in years. Ben's wife Rachel is in that Discord. I guarantee you because we used it for that brief moment we played Storm King's Thunder online when COVID first hit. And I don't know why she joined the Discord. I think it's because Ben joined it because he was being a haha fun troll. Because he used to watch my streams all the time, and then he doesn't anymore. He stopped before I even stopped streaming. But anyway, so there are people like that who are still in the Discord server, but I guarantee you they don't even have Discord on their phone anymore or anything, and they don't have access to the account, but they're still, it just says usernames there. And there are also people there who I know are still active on Discord itself, but they just don't jump into that server because they either A, just don't want to anymore, or they have it permanently muted, or B, are one of those maniacs that have 100 fucking Discord servers that they're part of, and I don't understand those people because that just sounds like notification overload. What the fuck? But But anyways, when it's streamed, there's always that one thing going on, which is whatever the streamer is doing. So even if you don't fully enjoy it, it's still something you can jump in on. And from my standpoint, I go into it and I'm like, this can't be entertaining. This can't be enjoyable for people because it's literally just me playing a video game and either getting angry at it. And it's just something that I enjoy, or even maybe don't semi-enjoy, but it's just something to do. And I think from a viewer's standpoint, I'm like, this wouldn't be entertaining to watch. This isn't going to grow my channel. This isn't going to be fulfilling for anybody to do or anything. It's just, if somebody wants to, they can jump in and hang out. It's meh. I could be doing other stuff at this time. I could be working on other stuff.
You're hard judging yourself.
Yes.
Super hard.
Yes. And that's why that was another one of the small reasons I stopped, because I was like, when I have spare time, I could be doing other things at this point, because again, I was working, I had flight school and I had online flight school. And when I wasn't doing any of those three things, I wanted to be making a YouTube video or doing something that would actually progress that YouTube career. And at the time, streaming wasn't progressing anything. Streaming was, and I said this before, I've never looked at streaming as my main area of content. Streaming for me has always been a supplementary to YouTube videos as the primary content. And I still believe that, but I still wanted streaming to be supplementary and boost something. And the only time I've ever seen a YouTube stream boost anything in terms of my YouTube is when I streamed getting 1,000 YouTube subscribers. That's the only time I've ever had a stream actually pop off, and I got super chat donations, and people were there for the hype because I could see the counter and everything, and it was a big monumentous stream because I hit 1,000 subscribers, so I got partnered on YouTube and everything, and the stream after that as well, because I got partnered on YouTube, and then I got my monetization all enabled, so then people could super chat me and donate and everything directly through YouTube. So those two streams were awesome. Every other stream I've done since then has just been quite literally people from Discord coming to watch. That's it. Because the way YouTube live streaming work is not like Twitch. It's very, very different, and it's a little funky on how you find live streams. They have to be recommended to you, and a lot of people just don't watch live streams on YouTube because they don't look at YouTube as a live streaming website. So it's just not what people do.
Because it's a little clunky.
It's a little clunky. I still prefer it over YouTube or Twitch's King of the Hill version, where if you're not on top, you're never going to be found kind of thing.
That's true.
So, but it's never, YouTube has never put live streaming at the forefront of its priorities.
No,
and
it never will.
And I don't think they ever should, because YouTube videos are just way better in terms of literally everything that you can do with them. But I'm going to come back to live streaming because I'm not doing flight schooling anymore, and I just have a lot more time. And I realized that even if I am just playing some random ass video game and just hanging out for myself, just playing something, whatever, for people who want to join in, they still can, and they can feel like they're a part of something. And I think that's important to still have.
Absolutely important.
Yeah. So even if I don't see it as furthering content or creating something to boost my channel,
it's furthering your community.
Yeah. And that's what is important. And that's what I kind of want to go back to, is like, it may not do well afterwards, and they still, like, every one of my live streams better than Twitch exists forever on my channel. You can go back and watch my very first YouTube live stream still to this day. You can't do that with Twitch. So that's always good as well. So like anything that I do can still be watched later for someone, like even if they miss the live stream and they do want to feel like they are a part of something or just check it out, they can still do that afterwards. And I think that's very important. But my content brain is going, this is not furthering my channel. I am wasting time when I could be filming something that will actually further my channel.
And that's something that you've needed to learn for yourself, and I'm proud that you did. And honestly, it's not something that I can say like, oh, I saw that a mile away. It isn't. But I'm acknowledging that you realizing and changing your view on something is important, because you're still growing as a person. Until the end of time, until we're nothing but dust. And it's important to acknowledge that you were wrong for something, or that you've done something right.
I don't know. I'd say I was wrong for ending live streams.
That's what I'm not saying that it was wrong. I'm just saying that you realized that something needed to change and why it needed to change. Okay, fair enough. And that's important. But you also have realized the flip side of what happened and why it's a great thing. And I know I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm just saying that I
ramble all the fuck time, so it is what it is.
So basically, what I'm trying to say, it's really good that you've thought about it. You've been on both sides now of streaming, not streaming, and realize, hey, this is good for this reason. This is good for this reason. Can they exist together? And I'm glad that you've found a way for you to justify to that hindbrain being like, hey, I need dopamine.
Yeah. There's the content brain that is like, what can I do that will further the channel? And then there's the fun brain of like, what can I film that'll be fun for me? And then there's the what can I do that'll be fun for the community? And live streaming, I have to realize, it's like, it won't further the channel. It's semi fun for me, depending on what I'm doing. But it does give a community aspect for people to hang out. And there is an also benefit to the community aspect that also furthers the content aspect, which some people are not going to like, but listen, all right, this just is what it is. There is a I can't remember the full term, but it's basically having 100 super fans is better than having 1,000 regular fans. And the reasoning for that is because
those ones will always be there.
They'll always be there, and there's other things kind of tied into it, which the average viewer is probably not going to like, because this is very much a content mindset or like a business mindset. It is what it is. Because let's think of it this, because
he's saying if you're getting offended by this, you're basic.
Not what I'm trying to say.
I'm kidding.
Not wrong, but that's not how I was going to word it. It comes from a story, because there was an Instagram influencer who had over millions and millions of followers or something like that. They were just a fashion person who wore a bunch of different fashion brands and all kinds of stuff, and they had millions and millions of followers on Instagram, and they only ever posted on Instagram. They never did anything else. They then, made their own fashion stuff. They made their own merchandise, and they were going to sell it because they knew it was going to sell well, because they bought out all kinds of stuff. They didn't put them, because there's two ways to do merchandise. It's either print on demand, or another term that I can't remember. It's the way Adeptus Ridiculous and Bricky does it, where they will order a set amount of brand stuff to their location, and then they will pay in bulk for like 1,000 shirts, and then they are responsible for selling all of those. And if they don't sell all those, they take a loss because they've already paid for them, and then they sell them at a higher price than they paid for them. Print on demand is you don't pay fuck all, and which is how I do merch. You don't pay anything, you make it and everything, and then the business side takes care of all of it, but you make very minimal. I make like $2 on every t-shirt that I sell because the majority of each sell goes to the person making it. But you also never run out of product and never sell out because it's print on demand anytime you get something. So it's easier that way. It costs you nothing, but you make very little on it. So anyways, so she didn't do print on demand. She decided she was going to spend tons of money and get all these t-shirts and everything. She was going to sell them to her audience and everything. You know how many t-shirts she sold? 4.
Oof.
She had millions and millions of followers. She sold 4 t-shirts, not 4D, not 400, 4.
Oof.
And she was absolutely blown away at this, and she couldn't understand what was going on. And a couple of people did some deep dives onto it because she reached out and she tried to get help. She wasn't understanding how she could have millions of followers, but only 4 people bought her shirt and everything. And they looked into it and they realized every one of your posts only ever talks about the clothes, and she never comments on anything. She never responded to any Instagram comments. She never reached out to anybody. She never talked to anybody in DMs. It was never a connection. It was always her showcasing clothes and doing sponsorships and advertisements for brands that would send her clothes because she had millions of followers. But the moment she tried to do anything with the community, and the very first time was trying to sell merch, but because she never made that connection, 4 people only bought it. Now, if you have a much smaller channel that is constantly responding to comments, talking to people, and answering DMs and helping things like that, but you have like 50 followers, but you respond to every single one of those comments and you try to sell something, 20 of those people will buy something because there's a connection there. And 100 super fans, 100 people is way better than 1,000 regular fans, because when you come to monetization, it's way better financially as well. And also whenever you try to start something new or go something there,
they'll go there for you.
They will go there for you, and it will help you jumpstart that kind of thing. So you can always kind of rely on them for success, which sounds like a using, but that's kind of what it is. But a way to really garner that and affect that is through live streaming, is what I'm coming back to it, because live streaming is a phenomenal way to make that connection.
Interact in almost real time.
Yes, it's quite literally, real time interaction, which is scary for multiple different reasons. But if you play it safe and everything, then it's better that way. The fuck's going on here? Oh, I just got a massive long text from my dad about something. Sorry.
Oh no.
Do I remember a girl named Haley from school?
I know Haley.
Her mom owned the little cafe across the street from the movie theater.
Probably Wilson.
She's a checker at the tree planting camp. Nice girl. I don't know her, but last name, but she sure remembers Torsten Nogel. I don't know if it is for good or bad that she remembers you. She said that there is a high school reunion coming up.
I could not give less of a fuck.
I don't know any Haleys. I remember my sister's friend Haley.
Haley Wilson.
You're getting doxxed, Haley Wilson, whoever you are. You've been doxxed now. but anyways, I don't know.
I'll be real with you. I don't give a flying fuck.
No, me either. I about high school reunions? No, absolutely not.
Fuck no.
Nope, I don't care for it. I don't even have anything to flaunt either if I go back to high school.
Yeah,
it's like, I don't have a mullet anymore. Congrats. I've grown up, I guess. But
I look more homeless now.
Yeah, I'm no longer fit as fuck. I'm no longer in boxing and football. I have a 6-pack and fucking shredded. Yeah, no, I'm fat. I still got long hair. Yeah, we got kegs, and we don't even drink either. Fuck. Awful.
Yeah,
no. So yes, long story short, I'm coming back to streaming because I realize even if I felt I wasn't doing anything content related, it was still beneficial for a community side of things. And, looking at certain fans, I guarantee I would not have these people involved in my community as much as they are if I didn't stream even back then. Hell's Breach, guaranteed.
Oh yeah.
Probably would still watch my videos because he found me through my videos.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he came into my videos when the Arcadum situation happened, and then he was one of the thousands of people that found me through that way. But he was one of the very few that stayed after that, and he commented on most of my videos because that was during the full month of September where I uploaded a video every single day, and that's when he found me, was during through that. And then I did a charity live stream at the very end of that, and I was streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. And
I was there.
Yeah, you were there. And he initially came and he was watching it on YouTube, but nobody else was watching it on YouTube, and everybody else was watching it on Twitch.
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So anytime I was talking to Breach, everybody on Twitch chat was like, we don't see who you're talking to. And that's why I had to be like, because I'm talking to somebody on the YouTube chat because I'm streaming on both platforms. And then Breach went over and made a Twitch account just so everyone could see him talking. And then I ended the YouTube live stream because I was like, well, everybody's over on the Twitch one. So I just kept it on the Twitch live stream. And that's how Breach got involved in the thing. But he initially found me through the month of YouTube videos. And then Daydream found me through, technically found me through Sushi. Because, do you remember how that happened?
No.
Oh, okay. So, both Daydream and Sushi have talked about that, so it's not secret information. Sushi had posted on like a looking for friends Reddit because he was feeling very lonely, and Daydream reached out to him through that Reddit post, being like, "I'm also looking for friends. Let's like hang out and something." So she came to his streams, and then we were streaming with Sushi, and we were both. Not you and I, but Sushi and I were trying to promote to Daydream whose stream was better to subscribe to because she had one Amazon Prime subscription. I think we were streaming Remnant for the Ashes or something, and we were both trying to promote our streams to Daydream and be like, whose stream is worthy of the Prime subscription? And she eventually used it on mine. She Prime subscribed to me, but then got her mom to pay for a Twitch sub, so she also did it to Sushi. So we both won.
Fucking Chadley.
Yeah, but that is how Daydream came over to my stream eventually. But it was initially because Sushi posted on Reddit and she went to Sushi streams, and then we were streaming with Sushi and we did that.
That is really cool to know.
Yeah, that's how Daydream came to be. So. Dalton was also there because I think it was all four of us were playing Remnant. I think, but
I think that was true.
Yeah, all four of us were playing Remnant, but Cade and I were the only ones that were streaming at the time. So
yes, I think that might be the case. I offered hentai TMs. That's a very Dalton thing to do.
That sounds like it. Would you offer to make her join fucking, what was that, Moist Boys or whatever the fuck that server user group was called?
Oh, fuck. I totally forgot about fucking Hydro Homies.
Hydro Homies, that was it. Moist Boys, Hydro Homies, whatever.
Moist
I don't know.
Boys.
Whatever the fuck. It's the same thing. It is what it is. So. But anyways, yes, I will come back to streaming. I don't know when, but probably sometime soon. Just because I understand it's important to do, and it gives a way for the community to hang out and everything. But in terms of streaming, you know what I'm not going to stream? Tears of the Kingdom, because I'm close I'm close to finishing it.
And there's other people doing it already. It's not worth your time to do that. It's more of an experience for yourself.
Also true, and also I'd have to set up a capture card for it, and I don't have one. I don't want to buy one. So
I have one.
Yes, I know you have one, and you already have it set up for streaming because you streamed Rise through it.
Yes.
So even though it's now on the PC,
and then I just got the PC version anyways.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, you did the same thing with World. You got it on PlayStation and then got it on the computer. So
hey, World was fucking worth it. I spent another 550 hours just on the PC version alone. Yeah. I will still play that game. With a person who is like just starting Monster Hunter, I will still go through it.
I really wish they just make World 2.
It has to be coming. It has to be coming.
Hey, Bloodborne Remastered for PC has to be coming, but it's been 9 years and there's still nothing.
Nah, Bloodborne ain't gonna get it.
It's fucking better. It is the only fucking From Software game that doesn't stream that doesn't play natively at 60 FPS and is also not available on PC.
Yep.
Literally every other From Software game is available on PC, just not Bloodborne.
Get fucked.
And it's so upsetting because it's such a good game and I want to play it at 60 FPS on PC. And I can't even play it anymore because I sold my PlayStation. So, I'm so upset.
Idiot.
No, I don't regret. Kidding. I don't regret selling the PlayStation because like I enjoyed playing Bloodborne, but I hated playing at 30 FPS. And it wasn't even because of the PlayStation. It was like the game was locked at 30 FPS. And it was just like, oh. So
you're gonna wait another 10 years, and then it'll be like Bloodborne Remastered,
and I will fucking cream my jorts for it.
And it'll be only half done, and it'll be the worst game.
It fucking better not. Better not be. God, love that game. I think it's so good.
I don't think FromSoft would do something like that.
Well,
FromSoft is, for the most part, really, really, really meticulous.
Yes, and even when FromSoft doesn't do the PC port for it, like Demon's Souls. The Demon's Souls remaster that they did for PlayStation 5, which strictly for that was not done by FromSoft. That was done by Bluehole. Bluehole is the one that did the remaster. And it's still, from what I've heard, phenomenal. I don't have a PlayStation 5, so I haven't played it. But I've heard nothing bad about that remaster. Everyone's been like, that is a phenomenal remaster. So even if Bluehole wants to take Bloodborne and remaster it, fucking do it. Even if they put it on the PlayStation 5, at least then when I do finally get one, it'll run at 60 FPS. And then I'll have no problem. I'll fucking buy a PlayStation 5 for it so I can play it at 60 FPS. That's fine. Won't be anytime soon, but I'll still do it.
Yeah, I mean, going back to streaming, I'm also gonna, since I have more time, since I will be having more time, I'm also gonna try and throw my hat back in just to, have something to do with, do something with it, because it's been way too fucking long. But at the same time, I don't know what the fuck to stream.
I mean, I'm sort of in the same boat, because while yes, I could just stream anything fantasy related, I still want to keep it somewhat like, at least in the narrow niche, because there are people who will watch a YouTube video of mine and then YouTube...
just get fucking Baldur's Gate.
I will, when it's fully released.
Yeah.
I don't want to play early access and only chapter 1. I would like to play all of it, thank you.
True.
So, but yes, that is something I would absolutely do, because it's still D&D related and it's a video game.
We still have to finish our fucking Divinity.
Yeah, we're hard stuck with clay soldiers.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about those
we're
guys.
stuck with that bullshit.
Thanks, Dalton. I'm blaming you for it, because you can't defend yourself.
You only have chat. Get fucked. So, yeah, that's where we're stuck. We're stuck with that.
Even though we
bullshit.
could just fucking leave.
Yeah, we could just leave. We don't have to fight them.
No,
we don't have to loot that stuff. But it's good stuff.
No, we aren't, bitch. We can teleport out. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We could just leave.
Not with the stuff, though.
Yes, and you want the stuff.
The stuff is good.
How do you know that?
Because they're defending it tooth and nail. Therefore, it's
We
good.
need to level up like 3 fucking times before we can fight those guys.
I refuse. Anyways, so do you have anything else to say before I go into a hot take?
No. Go for your spicy take.
All right, you ready for this?
Yep.
I don't think Matt Mercer was the correct pick for Ganondorf.
No, I could see it.
I love Matt Mercer. I think he's a phenomenal actor and a phenomenal dungeon master, and his voice is very iconic. I don't see it as Ganondorf. It is not deep enough.
No, it isn't. I agree.
But here's the thing. That's hot.
I don't know who else would be the right choice.
I can think of a couple.
Are they living?
Well, Lance Reddick was going to be number 1.
That's what I was going to say. I knew it. I knew it.
Hey, listen, it would do so well. To be fair, also somewhat hot take. I don't think Lance Reddick was the perfect choice for Thordak either.
No.
He's a good Thordak, but he's not who I would pick for Thordak.
Come on.
It's good. It's not who I'd pick for Thordak.
Who?
Not Lance Reddick.
Come on. He did so good.
Yes, but it's the voice. And here's the thing. Matt Mercer's deliver of the voice lines, perfect, phenomenal, great.
It's still
but
Matt
they
Mercer.
don't match the character. That's the issue. Because I can hear Matthew Mercer in a bunch of different characters. Matthew Mercer as McCree, whatever the fuck, I don't know what his new name is. I don't care. It's still McCree, unless they just changed his first name.
Cassidy, I think is what it is.
Yeah, what was it before that?
Cassidy McCree is his name. So it was McCree, but then they yeeted it.
Yeah, but he had something and then McCree.
Cassidy is his name, but it was always just McCree.
They changed something because the person who
he is
made
no longer McCree. He is just Cassidy.
Oh, that's what they changed.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, well, either way, his voice as McCree, phenomenal. I can't think of anybody else doing McCree because the voice fits the way the character looks. Ganondorf does not look like Matthew Mercer's voice.
No.
Ganondorf needs a deeper pitched voice. My mother is calling me. It's up to you for a moment because this may be important. So, all on you. Bye-bye.
Well, at least I can talk with chat for now. Hello, boys and grills. How are you doing today? It has been a while, and we apologize for that. But we are human too, as much as you may or may not agree. Talk with me, Daddy. Shut your mouth. I don't... No, stop. So, yeah, I guess that's me announcing that I'll be streaming more, so that's something. What it will be? Probably just whatever I'm feeling like. I mean, the new TFT is fucking rough. I cannot for the life of me win a game of the new TFT. But it's a lot of fun. They've definitely done a lot of work to the game, so I'll probably stream that once or twice. Kind of depends on, what I'm feeling. I might just stream playing games with Altor if he's okay with that, because honestly, that's kind of the most fun I have right now. Surprise. But I don't know. Maybe I'll. There's some games that I was gonna do. Could do a daily Risk of Rain 2 stream. I mean, yeah, I'm. My computer will probably fucking explode if we go too far, but hey, I'm down. But yeah, those can be like super quick or super fucking long. So I don't know. Maybe we could do that. There's also the I bought Near Automata like fucking 2 years ago. Well, when I was still streaming, I'm like, oh, I'll stream this sometime. It's been sitting in there and I have not touched it. So maybe that's something I'll stream because I've heard it's fucking fantastic. Who knows? That will be something we could find out together, I guess. Other than that, yeah, I'll stream sporadically like I always do, and hope to see you all there. I'm somewhat fun to be around, I swear. I mean, I'll probably play a lot of FTL because it's just nice and easy, classic. But there is other games that I would like to do. So, hopefully, y'all will come with me on those journeys. He's taking a long time. How dare he? As far as when that will start, probably middle of the week, maybe the weekend. Can't really give a... I mean, I will try to stream at least once every 2 days. Whether or not there'll be long streams or not, kind of depends on what else is going on. But I do have other things in the life that need to be done, so we'll see what happens with those. It'll may not have people being a part of them or not. It kind of just depends on what happens. So, as usual, it's kind of just me doing my thing. Anyways, how is everyone else doing today? I know this is kind of a late one, but I really don't really have much to talk about at the moment. At least not much I can say. I mean, I guess there's 10th edition Warhammer's coming out. I don't know if anybody actually plays Warhammer in the chat right now, but I'm excited for it. That's also one thing I'm going to be trying to do more of, is just getting my army painted and built, because holy Jesus, I have so big a pile of shame. It's not even funny. I still have to build flayed ones, which are a pain in the freaking ass. I still have to paint flayed ones, which is also going to be a pain in the ass. I still have to paint the Lich Guard, which are they're going to be so intricate that I just need to relearn. Ugh. Getting tired. I'm getting used to the workload of the job, but it's definitely still draining me. Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be like the first like month and a half. Like, you're gonna be bagged every single day. That's and especially when it's hot, because that just makes it double. Working in the heat is the worst thing, especially when you're like actively moving around like you are. My arms are getting fucking chunky though. Oh, I can imagine. You were already pretty up there with your biceps and whatnot, so I imagine you're getting pretty jacked at this point. You're doing a lot better than us, that's for sure. That's one thing I need to start doing, is actually going to the gym and burning this off. But again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have for me, it's motivation to do that, because honestly, working out I just don't like the feeling of it right now. I don't know. Like, for me, my head just goes pounding and pounding, and it's like, I don't like that feeling. That's not something that I'm on this earth to enjoy. My brain right now cannot fathom it. Oh, I still have the gut. We all still got the gut. My limit so far is like 185 pounds. Oh my god. Like, just if you're like full on lifting, I have to know, because that's like half of me. I mean, I don't think I'm over 300. I actually have no idea how much I weigh these days. I'm tempted to just go into his washroom and just fucking... No, I mean body weight. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah, I am over 200 easily. Probably 230. I'm pretty chunky. Thank God I'm tall, or else I'd be real big. Yeah, if I didn't have the fucking broad shoulders and whatnot, like, I would be so screwed. That's one thing I'm happy for, is my genetics are they've done me well up to this point, but I'm definitely not the shape I'd like to be. But of course, that involves having the motivation and getting into a routine, which I'm notoriously bad at doing. So that's one thing I guess I just need to learn. Yep. Yep. Sounds like D&D is going to be canceled. Pepe hands. Oh boy. It's getting way too warm. It's one thing I don't like about this place, that it gets way too fucking hot in the summer, but I'd rather have that than cold winters, I guess. Honestly, I could see him cutting out all this. Because I'm just rambling. And I would not blame him. So we're playing more ARAM tomorrow? Mr. Lord Ghostcat? Or what is it? I don't need a Mr. there. But whatever. Possibly. Did you already make plans after I said I wouldn't be home? I'm not sure when Ashley works. I think she's opening tomorrow. So, I don't know. We'll see how things go. I guess you can just come home and be absolutely bagged. Because, yep, I've definitely had a job like that when I was out working in the sun. Nope, Anna's got her son this week. We don't hang out as often when she does. Oh, that's fair. Yep, no, that's definitely fair. Well, we'll make a date out of it. No, I'm kidding. Man. I wonder when he's going to be back. Maybe we can talk shit about him. He'll never know. Oh.
So I'm continuing my flying lessons.
Oh. Nice.
I'm still going to come back to streaming, but I am continuing my flying lessons. My mother and I have reached an agreement.
Oh, no.
So I don't know what you were talking about, but I'm going to cut you off.
That's fine. There wasn't much.
Your conversation has been ended. Get fucked.
There wasn't a conversation.
Well, I see you and Dalton are having one hell of a conversation. So anybody else in chat, are they involved? I don't.
No.
I see that they're not, but is it just you and Dalton shooting the shit?
Kinda, yeah.
Oh, damn.
I feel like I said in the middle of it, he's probably just going to cut this out.
No, it's all staying. Get fucked. So
P rising is very loud. Fair enough.
Well, turn it down then. I don't think I mentioned this on stream, but oh no, I just said that I was ending my flying lessons, but I never explained why.
Yes.
So the reasons I was ending my flying lessons is because initially, so a little bit of backstory. My parents and my grandparents had set a ton of money aside for me and my sister when we wanted to go to school. Excuse me. I used about 30 grand of it when I went to Cato for my auto engineering course.
Mm-hmm.
It was only a 2-year course, so that was it. But it was 30 grand because it was a private school, which is way more than like a public school. But they had way more set aside for me that I never used because I went to Cato, I did my 2 years, I got my diploma, and I never did schooling ever again. And I never wanted to do schooling ever again.
Yep.
So, but my parents had kept on telling me over and over again, like occasionally, like once or twice a year, hey, you still have money set aside for schooling if you ever wanted to go back to school or learn something. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm not going to, but whatever. Until I realized flying lessons, is that technically considered school? And I asked my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, it would be. It's flight school." And I went, "Bingo! That's what we're going to use the money for." So we worked out a deal and said, "Great, that sounds good." So that's how I've been doing all the flying.
Yep.
The only stipulation was that the money could only go to actual lessons. So any things I had to do beforehand, I had to come out of my own pocket, which is when I had to get a medical before I could even start flying.
Right.
And thanks to the generous donations of both Kendra and Hell's Breach, because it was $200 for that medical, and they both donated $100, and I got that medical done. So thank you guys. Thanks to you two. I know neither one of you are watching, but thanks to you two anyways. So that was out of pocket. It was their pockets. Thanks, guys. But then I started this flight schooling and everything, and that was all hunky-dory and great.
Then you failed to piss out a stone.
Yeah, that's a whole other that's a whole other problem. We're not even going to talk about that garbage. I had a kidney stone before COVID was even a thing, and I told the doctor that. He said it wouldn't be a problem. Psych, Transport Canada said it was a problem, and they fucking grounded me after I was like 4 lessons in, and it took 8 months to resolve. It's whatever. That's a whole other fucking can of worms. It was so stupid. But anyways, but eventually it came up with my parents. They were like, so how many hours do you need to become a CFI, which is a certified flight instructor? And I said, I don't know. And they were like, okay, you should look into that. And I was like, but I don't want to be a CFI. I just wanted to get a pilot's license just for myself, just so I could fly around, just me and my friends. And they were like, okay, that's not the deal though. The money is set aside so you can use it as for education for a career. That was the goal for it. And I went, oh, I don't want to make a career out of flying. I have no interest in flying for Air Canada or WestJet or becoming a CFI or anything like that. And they were like, then you can't use the money.
Oh.
It has to be, the money is set aside as an education for a career, not education for recreation.
I mean, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, it's set aside for you.
Yes. And so we had a little bit of a head-to-head on that and about it. But I told them I would look into what it's like to be a CFI and everything, what the training is and everything like that, and see what it's like. Just to see what maybe I do want to become a CFI, whatever. So I looked into it. No. CFIs in Canada get paid $700 a month, flat. And then every other money you have to make up is by taking on students. And you can take as many students as you want. It's completely up to you. But if you don't get enough students, then you don't get enough money. So the easiest way to do that would if I went part-time at the airport and then part-time CFI. The airport, however, refuses to do part-time shifts. They had part-time shifts before COVID, and then COVID hit, and then the airports came out and said they will never do part-time shifts ever again.
Fair enough.
Because they just didn't have, they had problems with them before, then COVID hit, and they were fucked in terms of shifts and everything. And since then they've been like, we're only ever doing 40-hour shifts. The lowest we'll ever do is 32. We will never do lower than 32 ever again. Get used to it. And like half of our staff quit because they were just like, well, I only want part-time shifts, and they fucking left. But whatever. So I would have to either do full-time airport or full-time CFI. I couldn't do both. And I looked into it, and then also for CFI training. Here's another,
like 10,000 hours or some bullshit.
Not quite like that. The hours is not too terribly bad to become a CFI. It's pretty easy to get the hours for it, but you have to do certain trainings. And because we're in Canada, here's a fun thing. So in America, you need 40 hours minimum of flying hours before you can apply for your private pilot license. In Canada, you need 45. The reason for that extra 5 hours is because in America, they do not teach flight students how to recover from spins. They only teach them how to recover from the closest thing to spins, which are spirals, which are different. It sounds very same, but it's different.
Spirals are where you're facing downwards and going like that.
That's the spin.
Spins are when you're when it's not actively like nose down.
Not quite. So what you described first, that is a spin. Okay. Nose straight down, wings going around like this. Yep. That is a spin. A spiral is when you are not nose down and spinning like this. It's when you are kind of level like this. Your plane is on the side and you're going like this. That's a spiral.
Okay, so it's just different axis.
Yes, it's different. It's different axis. And also,
then there's also the stall where
your wings are level and you're flying flat. That's a flat spin.
Yeah, flat spin where you're going like that.
Yeah, flat spin is where you're still facing the correct way and you're just free falling and spinning. That's a flat spin.
Yep.
Regular spin is facing down like that. Spiral is like this.
Yep.
Or like this. Spirals are fine. Spirals you can easily recover from. You're just gaining a fuckload of speed. Your RPM is going up, and your thing is ticking over, and your prop is going to fly off the engine. It's bad times. It's very easy to recover from those because you still have control of the plane. You're just gaining too much speed, so you just pull the speed, slowly level the wings out. If you go it too fast, the plane will literally rip itself apart because there's just too much pressure on it. Yep. But you just pull the
too many G's.
Yeah, exactly, too many G's. You just pull the power. The plane comes to idle. You slowly put it to level and then pull up, and you go back to level, and it's fine. It's easy to come. Spins. I have never experienced anything scarier in my life. Spins terrify the ever-loving shit out of me because what happens in a spin? You can get into a spin two ways. They both come from what is called a stall, which is just when there's not enough wind under the wings anymore, and you're just not creating any lift, so the plane just falls. It just stalls. You have nothing. You can do it two ways. One, when you are pulling up and the plane's going nose up, and you're causing the wings not to be level anymore, and they just little, not enough, and then you lose all the lift, so the plane just goes, and then it falls forward. The nose goes heavy because that's where the engine is, so it just falls nose heavy. However, the moment it stalls and goes nose down, you immediately get that moment when you go out to the top of a roller coaster and you go down and your stomach goes, and it's fucking awful feeling. But it's easy when you're in flat because you go up, and then all of a sudden, but the moment you go forward, the wings suddenly get lift again. Yeah. So you immediately just, and then you're fine. So stalling is just fine, but if you stall at an angle, that's where you get a spin. If you're going up and you ever have just ever slight left or right turn going in while you're pulling up, and you suddenly lose, because what happens, there's a little bit of trigonometry here. So your wings are at an angle like this. The high wing, your right one in this case, is generating less lift than the one down here, because it's at a higher angle of attack, and because it's pushing more this way than under here, whereas this one is the exact opposite. It's pushing way more under this.
And that way it basically like slams you like that.
Effectively, yeah. So when you're going like this and you start to pull up, this wing down here will drop before this one because it's generating less lift than this high one. So what happens is the plane quite literally goes wing over, you go upside down, and then the nose drops because you have no lift, the engine's heavy, and you just go, and you are facing the fucking ground as the plane suddenly starts to do this, and you think going was bad. My god, you get that. Yeah, it's awful because your whole body goes up when you stall, and then your whole body gets thrown to the fucking wall or the middle center console, depending which wing you drop, and it just stays that way as you just fucking facing the ground.
He did it on purpose, then to show you, right?
Yes, because in Canada, you learn spins and you learn how to recover from spins, but they don't teach that in America. They will give you video instructions on how to teach spins, but they do not put students in spins because it's terrifying. And America, well, the world so far, but America really has a horrendous pilot shortage right now. It's ungodly bad. They have no pilots for any airlines whatsoever. And the way to combat that is they're reducing the training for pilots so it's easier for pilots to get in. And one of the things they reduced is they took out spin training because it was terrifying pilots. So it's only 40 hours. You don't do spin training. You learn spins. You read about spins, but they do not give the practices in flight unless you take a private pilot course. Then they do it because it's the private pilot. You tell them what you want to learn and they would teach you. But if you go any kind of like public commercial pilot course, they will not teach you spins because it terrifies pilots. And I understand it does because I never ever want to do that shit ever again. And that is the one thing is that if you want to become a CFI, you have to teach spin training as well as everything else. And you need a certain amount of hours in every one of these things. So you need a certain amount of hours of spiral training, a certain amount of hours of stall training, a certain amount of hours of circuit training, and a certain amount of hours of spin training. To this day, I've done lots of spin recovery training now at this point. I never have to do it again. Thank fucking God. But because I've done enough as a student where I don't ever need to do it again. I know how to get out of it. It doesn't make me want to do it at all.
Oh, fuck no.
Because the way to get out is as soon as you go down, if you're spinning to the left, you put hard right rudder, which will slam the tail to the opposite direction that you're spinning, which will put the plane, it will stop the plane. You're still going to be nose down, but you're no longer spinning anymore. And then you just slowly pull up and you pull yourself out of it, and then your whole body fucking gets G-force as you get slammed into your chair. Yeah, and you literally, those Facebook videos, you go, that happens to you as you slowly pull it out of a fucking dive, level off, and then add power, and then you're back to fine. So I know how to get out of it. You think I'm going to remember that in the moment where I'm suddenly just flying along, I'm starting to stall, it's fine, then and it fucking just nose down. It's awful. And the worst part about it is that when this happens, 90% of spins happen when you're landing. Because what happens is you're flying very slow when you're coming into land because you can't be flying too fast. You're going to overshoot the runway. So you're at very, very low speed and low altitude when you're coming to land. And when you make that final turn to base, you're usually making a sharp turn because you like, here's the runway, here you are, and you need to make a turn like this to come into land. When you're way farther out, you can take as much time as you want to turn because you no longer are not going to like turn and miss. You can go all the way out here, turn like this, but sometimes you can't do that because if you have a plane coming down this way and they need to land and the air traffic controller wants you to land before that plane, you're going to make that tight turn. Pilot can always say unable. I just don't want to. I'm not comfortable with it. And they'll say, okay, continue your base. And then you just keep going, or sorry, continue your downwind. You just keep going, you'll land behind that plane. But either way. So what happens is that you try to make that tight turn. When you make a tight turn, you bank harder. The harder you bank, the tighter your turn. If you bank only slightly, you only turn slightly. So when you're flying low, you're flying slow, it's easier to stall because you don't have enough speed. Yep. And the moment you go into a spin, you lose hundreds of feet in a second because you just immediately, the moment you begin to stall, you free fall. So you only ever practice it at like 7,000 feet because you have tons of time to recover from it. But you don't have that time when you're low. And if you go into a spin on like your base or downwind for landing, it is like nigh unrecoverable because the moment you realize you're in a spin, you're 50 feet from the ground and boom. And even if you kick the rudder in and you're now no longer spinning and you start to pull up, you do not stop losing altitude until you're level. And it takes like 5 seconds to do that slowly because if you just reap on it, the thing's going to go whoomp and your wing's going to snap off because it's just so much G. So, and that's why they teach you spin recovery because it will kill you instantly the moment you get into it if you're low altitude. You just can't recover from it. The moment you start, you're like, oh, and you're dead. Done. So it terrifies me.
Rest in peppers.
Yeah, it's terrifying because it's just, the feeling is terrifying. And if you get into that situation at low altitude, you can't recover. You just die. And that's it. So it shit terrifies me. And that's why I don't want to do any more of that to become a CFI, to then do more of that, to teach students. And the worst part is that, because I've been told this happens, I thankfully have never done it. I know this totally unstructured just turned into Aircraft, the podcast. It's fine. It's totally unstructured. It is what it is. And we're almost an hour and a half. It's fine. He's got to be here till 10 anyways. So you get an extra long, spicy episode. Congratulations. What was I talking about? Right. So this happens with some flight students. I never did it. Thank God. I'm very proud of myself for doing this. But my CFI has told me about this, and I've heard about it on YouTube. And a flight student, when they get into a situation they're uncomfortable with and they don't know how to handle it, they will tense up and they will freeze and they will not let go and they will just become completely catatonic. This happens in spins. And then what happens is the moment they go into a spin, they are face down and they're flying and they're spinning like this.
Boom.
Exactly. They lock their arms and they can't do anything. And the control sticks, there's one on each side, are linked. They both move in tandem. So the CFI is trying to move his stick because he realizes the student is in catatonic state, is completely petrified and not moving, but he can't move his stick. He can't do anything. He can't move his rudders. He can't move anything because the student is completely locked up. So the CFI has to like smack the student and get him out of the catatonic state or just like do something because he's in the catatonic state. My CFI has told me this happened to him once, not in a spin, but in a spiral where the plane engine was going, and it was going up because the prop was just spinning so much because they were in a spiral and they were just going up and up and up. And it terrified the student that he just went completely catatonic and locked up. And the line was going into the yellow for the RPM, and it was going to go into the red. And he would not let go of the sticks. He would not come out of his catatonic state. He punched him in the side of the neck. The CFI reached over and just hit him in the neck to just get him out of it. And he freaked out, let go of the controls, and the CFI took over. And he said, you cannot do that again. I will refuse to fly with you or do anything like that if you do that again, because that is how we will both die. So that is... I've never done anything like that. I've never gone to a catatonic state. So hoorah, happy about that. But I know exactly what happens when I get scared in a spin when I'm flying. This is what happens. That's what I do. I just start
Gotta get all that oxygen to the brain.
I just start breathing real heavy. I'm like, I just fucking freak out. But I'm still fully conscious and everything. I'm just going fuck. But that's what I do. But I go full monkey brain. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Captain Monkey speaking. We're in a spin. I can slowly try and get us out of this before we fucking crash into Okanagan Lake. Because we do all of our practices over the lake. In the rare chance something happens, we hit the lake and we don't cause any impact to anything else. So, hoorah. But yeah, so that means every time we've done spin training, I just see blue. Every single time we've done spin training, I don't see the ground. I just see the lake. And I'm just
That's
like...
That's even worse.
I know. It's awful. But it's for the sake of everybody on land. So it's in the event if we crash into something, we don't hit a land or we don't have a power line or anything. So we practice over Okanagan Lake. And around no boats. In the event something happens, we just go into the water. So
and that's that.
Yeah, and that's that. We only harm ourselves. Yeah, we feed Ogopogo, we only harm ourselves. But yeah, so spin training is awful because you don't see land approaching. You don't have any landmarks. You just see blue. And it's just like, and it's hard to know when blue is getting closer to you because it just fills the whole fucking cockpit. And it's hard to notice something getting closer when it's all the same color. And, and especially when it's all the same color, spinning 360 like this all the time. So.
Dude's in a fucking washing machine.
Yeah. And it's awful. At least I can control the washing machine, but yeah. So anyways, long story short, I don't want to be CFI because I've done my spin training. I refuse to do any more spin training. I understand why it's necessary. I'm glad Canada does it and America doesn't. Even if I hate it, I understand it's important to know because God forbid I get into a situation like that and I don't know how to get out of it. So I appreciate that. I never want to do it again. If I can avoid it, I will. So there are some students, my CFI is a student who's like the same pace as me, not anymore because fucking Transport Canada, whatever. But we were at the same pace, so he would do my lesson and then he would come in immediately after me and he would go do the exact same lesson. So we were on the same pace. That student wanted to do spins every single time. Dude loved them. Dude loved getting spins. He was like a roller coaster for him. He fucking loved them. He would ask the CFI.
So that's the adrenaline junkie.
Yeah, that's the adrenaline junkie. He would ask the CFI every single time at the end of the lesson when they were flying back. He was like, "Can we do one more spin?" And they would do another spin, and not for the training. He just loved it. And he was like, "You two, complete polar opposites. You never ever want to do a spin ever again." He asked for a spin every fucking lesson. And I was like, "That man is going to be flying."
Giga Chad
that
meme.
man, that's the man who's gonna go fly fucking snowbirds eventually. That's that guy. I just want to putt around on my 172, just going. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I played.
Yep, that's all I want. I don't want anything fancy. It's the same thing with sailing for me. I don't want a big fucking massive yacht kind of thing that I can't manage. One, if I can go manage it all by myself, perfect, excellent. That's all I care about. So, but anyways, so I've now my mom called me. We came to an agreement and everything. I've come to the realize, and she's allowed me to finish my flight training and not have to go into a career path because she said I would rather you finish it and have something to show for the money so far than stop cold turkey and the money be completely wasted and you have nothing to show for it.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, thank you very much. I appreciate that. So we've reached the agreement where I will finish my flight training so I have at least something to show for it. I have my license and everything. So it didn't all go for waste instead of just spending thousands of dollars and I have absolutely nothing to show for it, especially because I'm so close. I'm at the point where I can fly on my own. I haven't yet because Transport Canada. But we're at the point where we're just doing circuits, which is we just fly circles around the airport doing landings and takeoffs.
Is it the kidney stone again?
No, it's just Okay, we're going to get into Transport Canada now.
Here we go, boys.
Okay, so,
strap yourselves in.
Yeah. Okay, so long story short on the kidney stone thing for everybody who doesn't understand. So I had a kidney stone years ago. I passed it, didn't even bleed, didn't realize I passed it. I had it. It hurt like fucking hell. I went to the hospital. They did an ultrasound. They were like, "Yep, you got a tiny kidney stone. You'll probably pass it on your own. We're not going to do any surgery. We're not going to blast it with sound waves. You will pass it on your own. Gonna hurt like hell. Here's some pain medications." And that was hilarious. When I went to the pharmaceutical and I gave them the prescription paperwork, and they were like, "Holy shit, were you in a car crash or something?" And I was like, "No, kidney stone." They were like, "Oh, that's why they're giving you hard stuff." And I was like, "Oh, how painful is this shit gonna be?" I was like, "Fuck, how painful is this garbage gonna be?" They gave me some hard stuff apparently. And that's where I originally found out about naproxen because I didn't know what naproxen was, and they gave me naproxen for my fucking kidney stone.
And you're like,
yeah. Oh my god, that's the best painkiller I've ever taken. You don't feel anything on naproxen. That shit is gold. So, but anyways, I passed it, and I never even knew I passed it because I was waiting for it to happen because now I have these ultra high painkillers, and nothing ever happened. I must have just passed it on my own because nothing ever happened. And I know for a fact I must have passed it on my own because now I got an ultrasound and on my kidneys and they found nothing. So it either broke apart on its own or I passed it and it was small enough that I didn't feel anything. So yeah, whatever. But anyways, so that all happened way before my flight training. I told the medical examiner I had a kidney stone way back and then. He said it won't be a problem. You haven't had anything since, and you didn't bleed. That was the important part. Did you bleed when you had the kidney stone, or did you feel it? And I said no. I passed it passively, nothing. Perfect, just fine. Transport Canada said fuck you. That's a problem, and said you can't fly until you get an ultrasound of your kidneys showing that you have no other kidney stones because since you ever had one, you have a 60% chance of having another. So I was like, okay, great. So I couldn't fly for 8 months. I finally fucking got my ultrasound because in Canada, hospitals and everything, that's free, but it takes forever, and that's the trade-off.
And it was also during COVID.
Yeah,
so good luck.
Yeah, so that's the trade-off in Canada. It's like, yes, our medical's free, but it takes forever to get done. So, well, sorry, not our medical, but a lot of our stuff is free because of that. We just pay through taxes. But anyways, so eventually 8 months later, I get that, and I give it to Transport Canada. No problem. I can go back to flying. Transport Canada says, thank you. You can go back to flying now. Great, fantastic. Go back to flying. Here's the thing now. So I got all that done. I go back and continue my flying lessons and everything. I've done all my spirals, my spins, my stalls, my everything. I've done my landing training. I've done all of it. So now we're at the point where in students' flying career where you do circuit practice, which is literally just takeoffs and landings in a big loop over and over and over again. You practice takeoff, landing, stalls, everything you've learned so far, except for spins and spirals because you're too low, and if you get into one, you just die. So we don't do that. But you practice everything else, and the moment you can do a full circuit 3 times without the CFI ever touching the controls once. You land, the CFI gets out of the plane, he says, have fun, and you go to a circuit by yourself, and that's called your first solo flight. The thing is, you cannot solo unless you have 2 things. 1, certified radio license, which you have to do like Alpha Bravo Charlie. You have to know all those different codes. You know how to talk on the radio. So like Kelowna Tower, this is Golf Charlie Zulu Whiskey requesting taxi to the active runway for a southbound departure. You have to know how to do all that properly. So I got that. That was fine. Did all that. But the second thing is you need your Transport Canada medical paperwork in hand, stamped, and approved. I had been approved on my medical over the phone. And I had told my CFI that I got it approved, and I asked my medical exam doctor, who I went to the very first time. They got it, and they said, yep, you're approved. Everything's perfect. So I've been approved across the board by both Transport Canada and my medical doctor for the Aviation Society. All approved, all golden.
They won't give you the damn paper.
Bingo. I get to the point where my CFI has told me, you are ready to solo, but you don't have your paperwork medical, so you can't solo yet. And I went, no, I got that approved. I'm good. And I went, do you have the paperwork? And I said, no, they never gave me a paperwork. And he said, you need a paperwork because you need to get that checked off by me. And I went, I never got a paperwork. So I called Transport Canada and I'm like, hey, I'm waiting for my medical that you guys said I got, that everything. And they're like, yeah, you had a kidney stone issue. We're waiting for paperwork for your kidney stone issue. And I was like, motherfuckers, I said that to you and you said it was fine. And they were like, oh, give us a second. We're going to take a look. Put me on hold for a little bit. Oh yeah, we have it right here. Nobody filed it away. Sorry about that. We'll take a look at it now. Okay, thanks, guys. So I wait. Oh, sorry. So they said, we got it here. We'll take a look at it. We're going to send you your medical stamped in the thing in the mail. You'll be good to go. It'll arrive in no less than 2 weeks since we're in Vancouver and you're in Kelowna, so it'll be problems. Cool, no problem. 2 weeks go by. Nothing comes in the mail. I'm like, Okay, it's Transport Canada, so it is what it is. It's a government thing. So 2 weeks is probably way less. 3rd week goes by, still nothing. So I call Transport Canada. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? You said you sent me my medical paperwork in the mail, the physical form, and you said it would arrive in 2 weeks. This is week 3. This is the end of week 3. And I gave them all my information. They said, oh, yeah, we have it here. One of our doctors hasn't approved it yet. Motherfuckers! So I got real mad at this point. I didn't like get angry on the phone, but I was just very pissed.
Fuming.
I was like, listen, this is the name of the person that got it the first time that said I was good to go. This is the name of the person that the second time said, oh yeah, we have it here. You're good to go. We'll mail it. You'll get it in 2 weeks. You're now the 3rd person I've talked to that says you still have it and it hasn't been approved by a doctor yet. So it hasn't been sent in the mail. What can I do at this point? And can you give me any kind of guarantee or something that I will get this in the mail and it will be approved by some point? Because I've talked to 2 separate people now from the same number and nothing has happened. And this woman, phenomenal, nice, she said, listen, here's the thing. I'm going to call you every step of the way. I'm going to go hand deliver this to one of our Transport Canada doctors, and I'm going to call you when I give it to them. I'm going to call you when it gets confirmed, and I'm going to call you when I put it in the mail and send it to you. And I said, great. Sounds good. Less than an hour later, she calls me back. I gave it to the doctor. Less than an hour after that, doctor approved it. The following day, I put it in the mail. It's on its way, and that was last week.
Hallelujah.
So
someone who went above and beyond.
Someone who went above and beyond, and finally.
Bravo to whoever that was.
Yes.
Bravo.
Whoever your name is, I have your name written somewhere because I wrote down everybody else because I was like, I swear to God, if you're the 3rd person that fucks me on this, so but bravo to you. So I have confirmation now that a Transport Canada doctor looked at my medical paperwork. They approved that I don't have kidney stones anymore. They signed it off, and it was put in the mailbox last week. So that is on its way now. And when I receive that, I can go to my CFI and be like, here you go. We can go probably do another circuit or 2. And once I do 3 circuits on my own without him touching the controls, then he's going to I'm going to land the plane. He's going to get out of the plane. He's going to go have fun. And I will fly the plane on my own. I will do 1 circuit on my own. Or
then you'll get into a spin and die.
Fucking knock on wood. Hopefully not. Fuck. Could you imagine? God. So, yeah, someone who did their job properly. Exactly, Lord Ghost Cat. So, but anyways, so yes. Long story short, I'm going to continue my flying course now that my mom and I have come to the agreement that it's better to have something to show for the time and money I've spent so far than nothing, even if I don't choose a career, which I'm very happy for. Because I initially told her, I was like, if I can only have a career out of this, and I don't want to have a career, then I don't want the money for anything because I'm not going to go back to school for anything. Quite literally, anything I want to learn right now, I can learn for free on YouTube or online, and I don't need career or education money for that, unfortunately. Sarah's in school right now. Give her the money or donate it to a charity or use it to pay my rent or something because I'm not going to use it for education. And I gave my mom those options. She said she'd look into it, and now she just called me. She said, I would rather you have something to show for what you've done so far, even if you don't make a career out of it, than stop now and have quite literally nothing to show for it and a waste of money. So I appreciate her for that very much. So thank you, Mom.
Good old Mom.
I know you don't watch this podcast, but thank you for that.
Thank God.
She used to. She watched a couple of episodes way back in the day. There was a couple of things she was very not happy about, which was understandable. So I think I even removed those podcasts because I listened to them back and I was like, yeah, this is just edgy cringe. So
I mean, we're cringe.
Yeah, we've also been doing this podcast like on and off since you lived in Saskatoon. So it's been we were doing podcasts before podcasts was even the thing, before it was even cool. It was a thing when we started, but it was like do you know how many people do podcasts on YouTube now?
Yes.
It's insane the amount of people that do podcasts. Not even talking about it. That's ridiculous. Just the amount of people that do podcasts on YouTube is out fucking landish. But I think I've told you why that there's a big rise of that, right?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, long story short, money.
Money.
Because the longer your video, the more ads you can put on the video.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So if your video is 8 minutes or longer, you could have one mid-roll ad. If it's anything less than that, you get an ad at the very start of the video that you could like skip through, and that's about it, and you get like little banner ads. But if your video is at least 8 minutes or longer, you could have a mid-roll ad, and mid-roll ads pay the most. Mid-roll ads are premium. And
Thank you, Command Zone.
Yeah, well, it's not even that. Well, because I don't know how many mid-roll ads Command Zone has because I have YouTube Premium, but they all
they have their own ads in there.
Yes, they have that. But on top of that, they also have the YouTube ad that I don't see because I have YouTube Premium. So
I don't see it either. Thank God.
You also have YouTube Premium, or you just have like?
Well, yeah, it's built into.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you have YouTube Music. Yeah. So exactly. So
I like YouTube Music, even though all my stuff is like not working anymore.
What do you mean it's not working anymore?
All my downloads, they're like corrupted or some shit, so they'll try to play and they'll be like,
oh
yeah. So I have to like delete them and then re-download them or something. I don't know.
Weird. I don't use YouTube Music. I use Spotify on my phone, but the Google Mini uses YouTube Music, which I have because I have YouTube Premium. So it worked out nicely that way. But yeah, that's why podcasts are on the rise so much right now, is because it's long form content, and every 8 minutes of your video you can put another mid-roll ad in. So the longer your video,
enjoy your mid-roll ads, chat. No.
Yeah. I know, ironically, because this is live stream right now, but the moment the live stream ends, it becomes a forever YouTube video on this channel. So it auto will put mid-roll ads. Well, it won't, because I have under 1,000 subscribers on this channel. But all my YouTube streams on WinglessValkyrie, they will all have mid-roll ads at several points throughout the entire video, because that's how it works. However, not all of it is well done, because what YouTube will do is, if you don't manually put in the mid-roll ad yourself for your videos or your live streams,
they'll just put it wherever.
It will analyze the video, and it will look for certain things in the video where it seems like a good stopping point to put a mid-roll ad. Like if your video has a fade to black before it goes to a next scene, it will notice that, and it will put a mid-roll ad on that. Or if you have like a scene in a live stream where you were like BRB and you walked away from the screen, or it's the same static screen for a long period of time, it will take that as a moment of downtime, and it will put a mid-roll ad there. So that kind of stuff is what it will do for both YouTube videos and live streams. For my live streams, I don't even use a BRB screen. I just leave the webcam open, because I've noticed when I was on Twitch, anytime you switch to a BRB screen, your viewership immediately fucking tanks, because people go, oh, he'll probably be a while. But if you just get up and walk away from the empty chair, people don't know how long you're going to be, and you might be right back, and there's no way to tell. But there's something about just like a BRB screen that gives people the freedom to be like, oh, I'm going to go away for a while, and your viewership immediately tanks. But if you just leave it on an empty chair, people get hesitant, and they don't know if they can leave or not, because you might be right back. So it's bad for the viewer experience, but it keeps your viewership high. So I just don't use a BRB screen anymore. But because I also just don't walk away from the screen all that much anymore, I usually just keep sitting here all the time. And even if I'm not playing a video game, I just actively talk to chat. I don't usually go to the bathroom or anything. So there's not many times where YouTube will put a mid-roll ad. So a lot of my streams, or the previous streams, don't have a lot of mid-roll ads in them. So they don't make that much money. Also, not a lot of people are watching them anyway, so they don't make money that way either. But yes, if this channel was at 1,000 subscribers as soon as this live stream ended, YouTube would manually go in and put mid-roll ads where it thinks is the best part. It may be difficult for this one because there's constantly something happening on the screen, and we don't have any like switching of scenes or fade to blacks for it to manually pick, so it might not be that worthwhile. But that's why there are so many channels doing podcasts now, is because every 8 minutes they can put a mid-roll ad, and it makes a lot of money that way. And on top of that, sponsors will pay as well, so they can put mid-roll ads and sponsorships, and the longer your video, the more sponsorships you can put into it. So yeah, it's that's where the money is. And on top of that, even better, this keeps going, you can then take clips from that podcast and make a clips channel for shorter form content. But even if the clip is at least over 8 minutes, you can also add ads onto that clip, and it's just recycled from there. And then on top of that, you can also make shorts out of it for a shorts channel. It's never ending. So that's why this podcast is so prominent. It's because money. You okay? Your eyes are getting real red. Just checking. Mid-roll ad. Boom. Sorry,
I think I'm okay.
Okay, your eyes looked like you're getting real watery, and I was like, I don't know if you're starting thinking about something that's upsetting you, or if you're just
no,
what's
I'm
going on?
okay. I think I've just been rubbing my eyes a little bit.
Okay, just checking. I was
It's
like,
also 'tis the season for allergies, but I'm not like fucking hose right now.
fair enough. That's always good. So, anyways, so that's what that call is about. So I'm going back to flight lessons and everything, and I will continue that. Hoorah! I'm not going back to flight lessons until fucking shit arrives in the mail. Better soon. It's supposedly by the end of this week, since it's 2 weeks, it's coming from Vancouver, and the third person said it would be here. She confirmed. She put it in the fucking mailbox. So we'll see. Anyways, so yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. Yeah, Matthew Mercer doesn't fit Ganondorf. He's a great actor, but I wouldn't put him as Ganondorf. And you need someone with a deeper, more menacing voice.
Yep.
He has a menacing voice, but it's not deep enough.
He did a good job with it.
Yes.
But it could have been done better.
Yes, but it's the problem is he did a phenomenal job. He's fantastic. It's not his fault. It's just his voice doesn't
not
fit
the
Ganondorf.
giant beefcake that is Tears of the Kingdom Ganondorf.
Yes, it doesn't fit the Demon King. It fits any other really good villain very well. It fits. What's that fucking character from Vox Machina? What was the necromancer? Silas. It fits Silas.
The vampire.
Yes. What did I say?
You said.
Oh, the necromancer. That's the wife whose name I can't remember right now.
I can't remember her either, but I should.
I don't know. Oh, that's another hot take. I really hate that character, and I'm very upset with that. But that's something else entirely. But whatever. Delilah Briarwood. Oh, I hate that character. Matthew Mercer does fantastic stuff. God, I hate Delilah. I really, really don't like Delilah. Not because it's her character, because Matthew keeps fucking bringing her back.
Well, and she's a necromancer.
But it defeats the purpose entirely. She dies once, and it's like, oh, we finally killed her and everything. They killed Delilah and they killed Silas, and it's like, it's amazing, it's phenomenal. And then in the show, she's dead. She's gone. Hoorah. But in the actual campaign, she comes back. They find her again. She's like, what the fuck? She's had another ziggurat? Oh my god, it's amazing. And because she's a necromancer. Oh yeah, she has a phylactery and everything is for and then they kill her again. She's gone. And then she comes back at the third time at the end of campaign 1. She comes back right before the Vecna fight, and they kill her again for the third time. And then guess what?
She back in season 3.
Nope. She came back again in a one-shot when Percy and Vexalia got married.
Oh, right.
She came back again for the 4th time there, and they killed her again there. So she's come back 4 times, and they killed her 4 times. Great. Fantastic. And then she came back again in Laudna's backstory and is living in fucking Laudna's brain. And then they go into deep into Laudna's subconscious and they kill her again for the 5th time. I shit you not. Matthew's gonna bring her back again because he refuses to just let characters fucking die. And it makes me so mad because the moment you kill a character and you bring them back, it shows that death is meaningless and it's never gonna have a phenomenal point to it anymore ever again. What? You disagree?
PCs revivifying and bringing others back.
But Critical Role does revivify different. There's always a chance for Revivify to fail in critical Role games because it is a roll of a dice on Revivify. So that is not the same, because there's always a chance for them to come back. The same cannot be said for his NPCs, like Delilah, that he just brings her back because I love Delilah, I want to bring her back. And it completely defeats the point, and it's kind of upsetting to me because he did the same fucking shit with Mollymock. And I'm so upset by that too. A part of me is like, yeah, I'm glad Mollymock's back, even though he's not called Mollymock now. He's Kingmaker, Kingslayer, King, whatever the fuck. You got a new name. But yeah, so Mollymock is back, but it was so meaningful to Critical Role 2 when Mollymock died, because the group felt unstoppable, they felt insane, and they felt powerful already at like level 6. And then Mollymock died, and it showed them they were vulnerable, and they went into a gritty moment when they realized they weren't gods, and it was amazing. It was incredible. And then they got Caduceus, who really grounded them and made them realize that they are not indestructible, and they really need to be careful in planning shit out. And it was amazing, and it was incredible.
It was a very strong moment.
And then he brought Molly back, and it was like, why would you do that? Find a different character. And I just have a problem, because the moment you kill something and it comes back, you've shown that death is meaningless and that it doesn't matter anymore.
For some things, it is.
Yeah, and I don't like that. If a character dies, they're dead. And they shouldn't come back, because if it comes back and you kill that character again, or any other character comes back, you've taught your audience and your players that death is meaningless, because I can bring back who I want when I want, and that removes any seriousness.
On the flip side, you're showing how tenacious some beings can be.
Yeah, but you gotta give a reason. Yeah.
Like
Delilah coming back because she's a necromancer. Sure, 1, maybe twice, 5 times is insane.
I'm not sure how many. I mean, given how long she's lived, how many colognes could she have made?
But there's no point to killing her ever again. Because if I'm a character and I've experienced this fucking NPC 5 times, I have no desire to kill this character anymore or interact with them, because the DM's just gonna bring it back. There's just no point. It's just exhausting. There's no point.
And there's also some. So tenacity is one thing, but also I had a word in my head that was like, some things aren't meant to be killed in a way that is like, some things are inevitable, and that's what some, like Thanos, Lamau, but that's just one thing where if they want that feeling of, this is going to happen, this is what you're fighting, something that is inevitable. Can you fight it, or are you just in its path?
Okay, I understand where you're going for, but it's not the same.
I know, like, I'm talking about like forces of nature, essentially.
Yes, that cannot be defeated. Character. Yeah, a force of nature, something like that, yes, effectively probably cannot be defeated. The problem is Delilah was defeated.
Yes.
5 times. And she keeps coming back, and it ruins any other death to occur, especially for Delilah, because you know she's not going to stay dead. There's no monumentous victory of we slayed Delilah. It was the 5th time. She'll come back again. And it ruins all excitement out of it. And this works for TV shows as well. I stopped watching Gotham. Gotham was amazing. Gotham is an incredible TV show. It's Gotham, like, from
before Batman.
Yeah, but it's like Bruce while he was a young child.
Yep.
And it's a phenomenal show early. Early seasons of Gotham, phenomenal, incredible. Certain characters died, and it really changed the stakes. And I shit you not, every single named character in Gotham that dies is still alive right now, because they kept bringing every one of them back, and it ruined the show, because the moment you saw an on-screen death, you knew for a fact it meant nothing, because they were going to come back next season. When Penguin died, it meant nothing, because when Penguin died the first time, you were like, this is insane, because he ran this operating thing, and the Catwoman was working out of this. It's like, how's this going to change things? How's this going to happen? What's going to happen now? And then halfway through the next season, it showed he came back. He was never actually dead. He fell into a boat, and he was actually alive and everything. And you're like, oh my God, that's insane. Holy shit. And you're like, whoa, insane, crazy. And then they fucking kill, I can't remember her name now, but they killed her, who was like Penguin's boss. And you're like, whoa, insane. And then she came back, and then you go, wait a minute, I've seen this before. And then Penguin dies a second time, and you go, okay, interesting. He came back once, though. He's probably going to come back again. Oh, guess what? He came back again. And then Poison Ivy died, and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? And then, I shit you not, 2 episodes later, in the same season, came back. And at that point, you're like, okay, death doesn't matter. every one of these characters is going to have an on-screen death that doesn't matter because you know for a fact that they come back and it takes all the wind in your sails. It's not cool anymore. It's not exciting because you know they're going to come back. And the same thing applies on D&D. And the same thing applies in stories. If a death is meaningless when you know it doesn't matter because the authors are going to keep bringing them back. And I hate that Matthew did that with Delilah, and I hate that he did it with Molly Mock because it just showed that death is pointless.
In some realities, it is.
And that's what I don't like. If something is going to die, you can bring it back once. And if you're going to bring something back, it better be only that. Because you make a massive input. It's like the first time you have chocolate. It blows your fucking neurons sky high. You're like, why? And you get insane. And
why are we equating death to chocolate?
Because we are. That's just, get on board, all right? We're going to 90 miles an hour here. You got to catch on board here, all right? But that's just what it is. Your baby, you get chocolate for the first time. You're like, this ain't breast milk. This ain't the fucking pasted.
Please stop.
Okay, well, this is what it is. But it blows your brain to kingdom come. But then you have chocolate again. It's like, it's good. It's not like the first time. You have it again. You're like, you know what? I like this. It's all right. But it never will equate to the first time you had it ever because it's not the same. Same basic principle of death. The first time you see someone come back from the dead, your mind is blown. It's insane. But when the author keeps doing it over and over and over again, you know the next time a character dies, regardless if it's a brand new character or the same character, it doesn't mean anything because you've seen that the author's potential is capable of doing this. If they're capable of doing something once, they will do it again. And it will only get easier. And I hate it. I don't like it. I love Game of Thrones because characters, when they died, and that was that, and they were gone. And then they brought Jon Snow back, and it blew everyone's minds, and I blew my mind for a second, but then I realized this is a bad trend, because if they were capable of bringing Jon Snow back, they're capable of bringing anything that dies back. To their credit, they only ever did it one other time.
The dragon,
which I was fine with. It was a dragon. It wasn't an actual character. But no other character.
You saying that, dude?
But no other character died and then came back. It was only Jon Snow that one time. That was it. But I saw it and it blew everyone's minds, and it worked out because it was the one and only time they did it. It was just like when Matthew Mercer when they killed Delilah the first time, and then he brought her back in the second ziggurat, and it blew everyone's minds because she came back. And that should have been the stopping point right there. You blew everyone's minds to Kingdom Come. Stop. You've made the impact. But now you keep doing it and it's just oversells and it's not
very
good
difficult to do when things like Cologne, things like Revivify, things like Resurrection exist in a world. Like Magic it permeates a world. It's very difficult to do what you're saying, or to cut it off, to leave it like that.
Yes, but
it's very difficult to not find a logical reason why this person is alive again, why this person is alive again.
Well, here, let me make this even personal for you. When Cinder came back in New World, how did you react?
Pardon?
When Cinder came back in New World, you guys killed Cinder, and then you found him.
Never killed Cinder.
Yeah, you did. You killed him, and then he came back as like a machine creature at the bottom of that.
Oh, right.
Yeah, because the blue, not Slad, Abushai, whose name I can't remember at this point, was working on creations, and he found Cinder and decided to revivify Cinder.
I forgot about that. Not gonna lie, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, but yeah, Cinder was a main NPC villain. You guys killed Cinder, and then he came back. How was your reaction now that you're remembering it?
My reaction, I don't remember at the time.
Okay,
it's been way too long. Probably a more annoyance.
Bingo.
Yeah.
And that was the only character in New World that died that I brought back, because I only wanted to do it once. I never wanted to do it any more times than that, because it will show to my players that death is meaningless, and anybody they kill, I can just bring back if I'm not done with them. If I feel their story is not done yet, I'm going to bring them back. And that makes it meaningless to kill things ever again.
There's us doing the same thing.
Like what? Oh, like with Revivify and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have that capabilities. And yes, I have that.
Why wouldn't anybody else?
Because then it just becomes a war of attrition, and that's not fun. When death doesn't matter because they could just come back immediately after, provided somebody has the stuff, so there's no point doing it again.
So we're the exception because we're the main characters.
Correct, absolutely. That's how D&D works.
I know. I understand that's the way it should work, but there is that reasoning of, if we can do it, why can't anybody else?
They can, but to tell a good story, they shouldn't. You just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do something.
That's fair.
You guys can go off and kill Lord Soth. Absolutely. He's a Death Knight. Do I want to bring him back and continue shit? Yeah.
He's a Death Knight, probably.
Yeah, I could probably just do it, and then the campaign could continue forever, and you guys could just continue chasing Lord Soth over and over and over and killing him over and over and over again. And I could just
until we find a way to do it for good.
Yeah, and then when you do it for good, and the kingdom is saved and everybody's good, and guess what? I'm going to say, I love Dragonlance. I'm going to keep playing, and Lord Soth's back again. Fight him again. It erases all point. It becomes meaningless, and it just death doesn't matter anymore, and it's not fun.
I do see your points.
Yeah,
absolutely. I just think that there's a reason for a reoccurring thing like that.
If you're gonna kill something, either kill it for good or bring it back once, and if you choose one thing to bring it back, and once that's bring it back, never ever do it again, because you will teach your players or your readers or your audience that death is meaningless in this world, and anytime I kill a character, it will not get the same reaction. That's my final standpoints on it. So, Lord Ghost says, just because you can make a gnome wizard no revivify doesn't mean you should. D&D is a little bit different, but because D&D is centered around the player characters. Yes, the DM should have fun, and yes, the DM has the same tools, if not more tools, than the player characters, but the DM is not the one... If the DM wants to tell a story so bad, write a fucking book. The story is written by the players. You're there guiding them. And not even guiding them, really. You're holding out a couple carrots here and there, but they might decide, I want the fruitcake, fuck your carrots, and go off and do that. And then you got to decide, I guess I'm baking a fruitcake now, and you just got to go with it.
It's more of a making a story with the DM, I would say.
Yes, but the DM shouldn't choose how he wants the story to go. Because if that's how you want, write a book, make a movie. The players make the story.
Make a YouTube video.
Yeah, make a YouTube video. Do that. So, but if you want to do all the world building you want, do all the preparation you want, but have an endpoint where your story is done and the players take the tool and the players grab the pencil. And if you can't do that, don't run D&D.
Yeah, no.
That's my feelings on it. And if you're going to bring a character back, bring it back once and only one character. You do it to any other characters, it becomes meaningless, and everyone's going to realize that I don't care who we kill, DM's going to bring him back, and it doesn't mean anything anymore.
I mean, there's always the thing that you don't. So you keep them guessing.
What, just don't bring him back?
You bring maybe one important person, one not so important person.
Yeah, but then that shows the DM can bring anybody back, and then it doesn't matter who you kill because literally anybody can come back.
The thing is, you can.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
That's something that you always have the option to do, and we're going to have to figure out whether or not that will be the case with anything. We don't know if you have these plans or not.
No, but... Okay, well then...
And whether or not we can... we can figure that out is up to us.
Yeah, okay, but...
And you being like, hey, I can bring things back. You need to be aware of this. Makes us be like, okay, that is something we're aware about. Maybe we can work around it. Or maybe it never happens again.
But if it never happens, you guys never experience it. Because here's the thing. If I tell you right now, hey, guess what? Everybody that died in Vogler, actually alive, revivified Vogler is exactly fine. But if you guys never go back to Vogler, you never know that. So it's completely pointless. What you don't experience doesn't happen, regardless if I say it did or not.
And that's the same with them as well. You could have revivified a lot of other people as well. But whether or not they go and actually do something with it.
Yeah, but that's just my own headcanon, which doesn't exist now.
It still does, because you never know, they might do it, and this is a decision you made 14 sessions ago.
Yeah,
it still should exist.
Yes, okay, well, that's yes and no, because the problem with that is that it still teaches the characters that death can be meaningless.
Whether or not it actually happens is a story beat in and of itself.
Yes. But okay, this is a separate thing now, because if a decision is made, like if I make a decision 14 sessions ago, I was like, this is the plan, and I make something months ago, this is how it is, and you guys come across it, but you interpret it differently, it doesn't matter how I wrote it. It's how you guys interpreted it. And I have a perfect example for that. When you guys met Shazavur, and Kendra's character was dying, and Shazavur...
dying? You mean dead?
Dead. Sorry. When Kendra's character died, and Shazavur asked Ashley's character, what does she mean to you? And she said everything. And Shazavur took out his Revivify gem, and he revivified Kendra. How Kendra interpreted this, because I talked to Kendra about this afterwards, she's like, that moment, I knew I was fine when Shazavur asked what she means to you. I knew I was going to be fine. I knew it was revivified, and took the idea of me dying, completely took the wind out of the sails, and I knew it was going to be fine, and it didn't really matter anymore. It wasn't that big of a deal. Because you just pulled a Revivify out of nothing. Because you just decided to keep my character alive. And I told her, that's not what happened at all. Shazavur, it doesn't matter for his backstory now, so I'll just reveal. But Shazavur...
We already knew this. He had it for someone else.
Yeah, he had it for. I think you guys actually eventually met her. I can't remember her name, but she had long pink hair. Yeah, he had that Revivify for her because she fished Shazavor out of the stream years and years ago, and he got Shazavor into that Paladin order. And Shazavor decided that he was going to protect her forever since she saved him. And he eventually did a bartering deal years ago for that Revivify gem, and he kept it in the event that she went headstrong because she was always hot-headed, running into shit, not giving a shit about anything, just going in willy-nilly and getting attacked. And Shazavor knew because she doesn't do any thinking, she just goes in, she will die. And I will have to save her. And that's what he had that Revivify gem for. And I had that all written down and everything. But none of that is known to you guys.
Yep.
So when Kendra's character died and Shazabur used the Revivify gem on it, it was interpreted that the DM pulled the Revivify gem out of the fucking blue just to keep the character alive because he didn't want the player to feel bad. It doesn't matter what I wrote. That's how it was interpreted. That's not the word. Interpreted, not interpreted. Interpreted. And that's why
fine.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, my headcanon doesn't matter. It's only what you guys experience and how you interpret it.
And we could have learned that later. And that is okay.
But it later doesn't matter. It's what happened right then and there at the table and how it was interpreted. Absolutely. You can't change how you felt about an opinion that when you experienced it. You experienced it, you had the emotions that you felt when you experienced it, and if they were negative and if you felt the DM pulled something out of thin air, then that comes back on that's how I DM. I pull shit out of thin air because I decide, I don't like this, you get a Revivify gem, you're back together now. And that's not how it was, but that's how it's experienced.
But this is something that you had planned X amount of times before.
But you guys don't know that, and it doesn't matter.
But we can figure it out. There are ways that you can be like, hey, you talked to him about what happened here, and he explained this to you.
Yes, but now a character could easily be like, what's that term called? Backwriting. When you set up a point and you go, well, actually, this was all planned ahead of time. It is actually, I made for this to happen, and you just reverse write it all. And then it's like, okay, well, you just made that up because you decided I needed a reason to pull a Revivify gem out of thin air.
And that is more of an issue, or not issue, a determination of trust between you and us as the players.
Yes. I have nothing more to say on that. Just yes.
Yes.
Yes. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can change how you felt in that moment later when you find out more information and whether you not or you believe that the GM just backread all that to make sense for the Revivify gem. He's got it now. But you can never change how you felt in that moment. You experienced that moment, you had the feelings you felt then. You can change how you felt about it later, but you can never change the feelings you're having right here, right now. This can't change, ever. You can only think about feeling differently about it later, but you can't ever experience this moment ever again. And that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter how much work I put into it or the actual reasons that he had a Revivify gem or anything like that. It only matters how it was interpreted. And if it's interpreted as if it's interpreted as he pulled a Revivify gem out of thin air so Kendra didn't feel bad about her character dying, that's how it's felt. Regardless what you find out later, that's how it's felt in that moment.
Yep.
So
I just feel like that the realization that death may not have a hold on everything is important.
For D&D, yes, sure. But there's certain certain things.
Okay, in like low magic, like non-revivify, like
Gotham.
Yeah, like it's stuff like that.
There's no magic in Gotham.
White Walkers is one thing, because that's magic for that.
Yes, but the White Walker thing only ever came into effect for the dragon.
Yeah.
I can't even remember how Jon Snow lived to this day. I don't know how they did it. But again, I was fine with it because they only did it once. They brought back one character and one character only. And that's the extent to anything I ever believe. If you're going to bring back a character, only ever do it once. Never ever do it again for another character or for the same character because it will lose all meaning. So.
Okay, Mr. Nightlord.
What?
Don't bring back curs.
What? That's entirely different. There is half of me is like, bring back Kurds. I want a 40k model of Kurds. It'd be so awesome. It'd be so cool. It's like the prophecy that he foresaw his death coming, so he actually fucking necromancied himself into a gem, and he's a fucking Horcrux, like fucking not Vecna. What's the other dude from Harry Potter? Voldemort, the other V word. Like that would be so cool. And then another half of me was like, you lose all meaning for the Night Lords. You ruined them. And so it's fucking. There's inside me. There's 2 wolves. So it's a problem with that. At the end of the day, I'd rather Curse stay dead forever because it gives meaning to the Night Lords.
Same with Sanguinius.
No, I want Sanguinius to come back, and they've already teased that he can possibly come back.
If anything, we're gonna get like the Sanguinor as the Primarch equivalent. They're gonna make him into like a giant buff dude, like a.
You know
being
what?
of
I'd
energy.
be okay with that.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
That has a logical thinking behind it, and I would allow that.
And also, if Sanguinius came back, then the Black Rage doesn't mean shit.
True, but this is a world where perpetuals are a thing,
Thank you.
and armor you can never take off that keeps you alive forever. No, honey, the armor stays on during sex.
We had the same fucking quote.
So it's one of those worlds where like it doesn't matter.
Well,
like,
yeah, the warp exists.
Yeah. Also, death. We already know death is meaningless because characters can go back from the warp. I shit you right now.
Angron is a different case.
He's a demon.
He's a demon. Like that's what they're designed. That's like
that's just how they.
That's
function.
how they exist.
Yeah.
Or
this
not
is
exist.
this is a world where a character can go back in time to shoot himself to get his gun, so he can have 2 of his favorite gun, and it works. Death doesn't matter.
No, it works.
It works. Death doesn't fucking matter. Absolutely, it doesn't matter. If you can go back in time, kill yourself just so you can get a second version of your favorite gun, and then go back to your current timeline, and it's fine, death doesn't fucking matter.
Orcs.
Yeah, orcs. So it's fucking it's great. What was the point I was trying to make though? There was a character I was just thinking about.
Sanguinius.
No, not Sanguinius. Fuck.
Is it a Marine?
It was a Marine. I'm trying to remember. Son of a bitch.
Gulliman? Gorilla Man?
No. It's
Gorilla Man?
gonna ruin my mind now. Shit.
I don't know where he's going with it. Is it a Primarch?
I can't even remember now.
Is it Perpetuals?
Fuck, I can't remember. There was a character I remembered that had died and that had come back, and it wasn't a perpetual, and I was trying to remember who. Oh, right, I remember now. Sorry, they haven't come back. I shit you not. I guarantee you, with every single bone fiber in my body, Yarick isn't dead.
They've literally shown his skull.
The Imperium has quadrillion skulls to choose from. Yarick's hat is not anything cool or interesting. His eye.
Replace him with Caiaphas Cain.
Wow.
I would love a Cain model. Let's be honest.
The red gem that he has on his eye, you literally can throw a stick at 50,000 orc corpses and pluck them. I shit you not. They have him in reserve for something sneaky. Maybe. He's a purple orc. He's gone into hiding, but they want everyone to believe, and I shit you not, they're pulling this so they can pull a prank on Gazgul. They're pulling a funny on him.
He got a new model relatively recently, though.
Yes!
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they killed him? No. Ain't no way.
When was his last model released? Like 10 years ago?
Something like that.
Yeah. Maybe it's a refresh. Who knows?
I guarantee you he's not dead. Because Warhammer doesn't kill someone when they're in a campaign. When they are a mainline stay in the game. The only characters currently that are dead are characters that were dead before they were even making models of them, or that were characters from 30K. And even those characters that are considered dead are not dead. They're just gone.
Mia.
Lehman Russ is not dead. He's missing in action. He's in the warp somewhere.
So
Corvus Corax. Exactly. He's not dead. He's missing in action.
Ian Erebus.
Yeah, he's likely
Lorgar.
Yeah, he's likely floating around Lorgar's tower trying to get in there. His likelihood. Salamar, man. Vulcan is not dead, but he's also a perpetual. He's a perpetual, so he has other bullshit going on. Yeah. But also killed. Perpetual can come back when his sons complete the 7 commandments of the Salamars and they find 7 items. He'll come back. Whatever.
That's what they believe. Whether or not that actually happens is another thing.
True, but even if they do or don't believe it, It's canon that he's a perpetual, so he'll come back eventually, regardless if they do it or not. He's a perpetual, he'll come back. So even that doesn't matter. And what's the other one?
The Emperor himself is a perpetual. If I don't.
Yeah, Emperor as well, perpetual.
But they won't let him fucking die.
Correct. And also, there's a recent fight. I don't know if you've seen this theory in the new core rules that they just released online, the free download I gave you. The second page is a full artwork piece of the Emperor. Guess what happened? Well, guess what's in that art piece? The Emperor's got skin on his skull.
Oh, that's an older one.
Correct. It's a real old artwork.
Yeah.
But they're reusing it.
Yep.
Interesting. He could be perpetuating and coming back, and
they'll never bring the Emperor back.
That's the running theory, is that because he's a perpetual and because they're using old artwork, because the most iconic artwork of the Emperor is that golden throne skull with all the wires and everything, but there's no flesh.
Nope, there's nothing.
But they've chose to use the old artwork with flesh for the 10th edition, which is an interesting choice. Just throwing that out there. It's an interesting little bit of salt to just, it's interesting.
There's
a running theory
no way that they bring the Emperor back. There's no fucking
way. There has been inside sources confirmed by, do you know what's Chapter Master? Valrak, yeah. He is confirmed from inside sources. The long-term plan of Games Workshop is to bring back every single Primarch.
Well, because they like money.
Absolutely.
That's every Primarch, not the Emperor.
But that includes the Night Lord Curse, man.
Every
Primarch,
and not what I thought you meant is every loyalist Primarch.
No, every Primarch. They want to bring back every Primarch.
How the fuck do you bring back Ferrus Manus?
I don't know. But
They're
again,
getting ahead of themselves.
But again, world where you can go back in time, kill yourself, just get your favorite gun twice in a row.
That's orcs. That is not something that's normal.
It's a Primarch. You want a perpetual Primarch exists in this world. You don't think they can bring back Ferrus Manus? Bullshit.
Because he's not a perpetual.
It doesn't matter. They can suddenly.
Yes, it does.
They can absolutely be like, hey, guess what, guys? We found out that he's actually a perpetual, and he's actually been kept in a safe house in the Imperium of Man for years at a time, just like Dark Angel's man, who was kept in the rock for years, and now he's finally back. And oh my God, it's crazy. They're gonna do the same bullshit because they've done it already. They've done it already, just all the way back to death, my man. If they've shown they can do it once, they'll do it again. They've done it several times already.
They're never going to bring Kurz back.
Absolutely, they will. 100% they will.
No.
I don't want them to. Trust me, I don't want them to.
Nobody wants Kurz back. But not even Kurz wants Kurz back.
But they will. At some point, when they want to pull an ace out of the sleeve because they're getting desperate, and suddenly Night Lords are like fucking everywhere, which thanks to Adeptus Ridiculous, there's a lot more people into Night Lords now, so hoorah, I'm not the only person that even knows they exist anymore, so that's kind of interesting.
Thanks, Bricky.
Yeah, thanks, Bricky. But eventually, they're going to realize that, wow, we're selling a lot of Night Lords models. We're seeing a lot of Night Lords at tournaments. Bring Curse back. You know what? Make him a perpetual. Make him be living in the world forever. No. Bring him back with bat wings and bat ears. Make him Batman, but Night Lord. They'll do it.
That's already happened.
What do you mean that's already happened?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just their theme. Yes. Yeah. Yes, but like that's what they'll do. That's what they'll do. Absolutely. I'll see them doing that.
I don't see it.
They've already brought back characters that Angron came back.
He was a demon Primarch before and all of this. He was the demon Primarch when in the Horus Heresy.
Okay, fine. Gilliman came back.
He was also like mortally wounded and put in stasis.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't confirmed killed.
Nothing
until your brain got her little mitts
nothing is confirmed killed. The only
Ferrus Manus.
Yeah, Ferrus Manus is like the closest. Kurz isn't even confirmed killed. They have shit. I shit you not. The only time that's ever been quote unquote confirmed killed is in the Night Lord Omnibus. So do you know who decides if a character is dead or not? Whoever's writing the book for that character that time. That's it. Because in other books they have shown that the assassin went in and killed Kurz, and then they never heard from that assassin again. So they had no confirmation if she killed Kurz or not. The only confirmation we got is in the omnibus when they chased her down when she was fleeing with Kurz's head.
Yep.
And then they killed her.
Yep.
But the omnibus is the only thing that confirms that. Other novels have said that they got the voice recording and the video recording when she went to him and Kurz accepted his death and she went and attacked him. But because they never heard from her again and they never saw the actual confirmation to kill, the video feed cut out when she jumped at him. He is supposedly dead. It's about who the author is writing.
Then again, trying to decipher fucking anything to do with Warhammer lore is like,
Yes. So
I don't think they're gonna bring back people that are dead, especially Sanguinius, Kurz, and Ferrus Manus.
Sanguinius, they've already confirmed they could bring back because they've showed that there's echoes of his soul still on the Vengeful Spirit. And there was someone, I can't remember what character it was, but someone had talked about possibly getting enough echoes of his soul from the Vengeful Spirit into a body. Similar to what what's the Slanesh dude? The one who made a clone of Abbot of Horus.
Fulgrim?
Not Fulgrim.
Fabius Bile.
Fabius, that's the one. Yeah, Fabius.
Fabulous Bill.
Yeah, Fabius has already made a clone of Horus before, and then Abaddon killed him because he was like, "No, I am the new Lord. I'm not gonna have you ruining my shit." So Abaddon killed him.
And it didn't have Horus's soul.
Yes, well, it also didn't have Horus's soul. So, but Abaddon also just went, "No,
Perish.
Shank," because he had Horus's claw.
And then
like,
there is a non-demon Fulgrim out there.
Yes, that's also true. There's a non-demon Fulgrim somewhere out there in the universe.
Oh, I know exactly where it is.
Where is it?
It's
in the vault?
Vault.
Yeah, in the vault. Fair enough. But on that same note as well, I can't remember where this story came from, but there was a story that a Necron overlord is talking to Sanguinius, either the Sanguinius or a clone of Sanguinius.
That was Zarek.
Was that Zarek?
That was the Silent King.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It was the Silent King. So there's either Sanguinius is still alive out there and is talking to the Silent King.
Dante.
Was it Dante?
Yeah, it was Dante that he talked to.
Well, he talked to both of them then, because there was a Necron and a Primarch that was having a conversation in the 40k universe, and they confirmed it was a Sanguinius. It was shown to be Sanguinius and a Necron overlord.
I don't think that's the case. I think he only talked to Dante.
Okay, well, I know he talked to Dante as well, but that was the big thing that was shown. Is like either a clone of Sanguinius is out there made by Fabius, or Sanguinius is also out there but is choosing to stay secret and only talk to the Silent King.
That might be the Sanguinor.
Could be, but the Sanguinor has never revealed its face, so we don't know what the Sanguinor is. The Sanguinor literally just shows up when it needs to, like everything else in 40k, like the Legion of the Land just fucking shows up when it needs to. Yeah, and the Avatar Arcane just shows up when it needs to, and then just fucking leaves. Legion of the Damned shows up when it needs to and then leaves. Sanguinar shows up when it needs to and leaves. Celestine shows up when she needs to and leaves. It's just so many of these things just shows up when it needs to and then leaves. So
Angron.
Yeah, Angron shows up when it needs to and then leaves, or shows up when it needs to, dies, comes back 8 days later and then leaves. So, but anyways,
Warhammer.
That so. Anyways, this is probably one of our longest podcasts in a while, but that's okay because I don't need to download it anymore. So I am totally fine going long, and also you don't need everywhere you need to go. So I'm good to just keep going because guess what? When we do get 1,000 subs on the channel, this video, ad money, baby! There's gonna be so many ads! We don't even have any mid-rolls that we can read. Like, this video is brought to you by not this brand because you got to pay for this advertising, motherfucker.
Actually?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I interpreted it as like we had to pay to get them.
Oh no, Lamau, no.
I was just like, wait a second, I don't like where this
No,
is going.
just making the joke is like, there's no free advertising on this platform. You want me to shill out your company? Pay me for it.
Yep.
That's why Critical Role always tapes all their logos and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because they just don't want to. They don't want to be showcasing advertisements for products that they haven't been sponsored by. That's why
Which is fair.
That's why all their tablets are taped to the Apple logo with black tape. But they're all iPads, and everyone knows they're iPads. You can see they're iPads, but they just tape over the logo.
With they're safeguarding themselves with that.
Because they get sponsorships all the time, and that's why they only ever wear either their merch or just blank shirts. Because if they wear anything brand related, if they're not sponsored by that brand, it seems like a we support this brand thing, and that brand can be like, hey, we showed up a Critical Role and we didn't even pay a dime, so that kind of thing. So like everyone can obviously look at this and be like, oh yeah, that's definitely Monster, but I'm not going to show the logo because you got to pay me for that shit, and it doesn't want to be seen like endorsing it. This is definitely King Kong, but you don't want to be like, oh, he's paid by Peter Jackson who filmed King Kong movie and everything. It's like, we're not endorsed by that.
Monkey.
Yes, monkey. So anyways, that's the joke I was just making. It was like, there's no free advertising space. You got to pay me for that shit.
Y'all
but
agree.
Yeah. Exactly. So
there's me drinking Rockstar on my stream all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Rockstar's looking at it like, this is free advertising. This is fucking great.
The whole like 3 people.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what that is? That's at least 2 pesos worth.
2 pesos.
2 pesos. Hell yeah, that's less than that's half a fucking penny.
Pennies don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Also, well, they exist. They
don't exist physically.
Yeah, they're still out there in the world.
Oh yeah, they're still out there, but they're not being made anymore.
No, they're not made anymore. But you know what that is? Artificial scarcity, just like the reserve list. We've come full circle.
Shut the fuck up.
Those pennies are gonna be worth $1 million.
All right, I'm done. Shut her down.
Shut her down. We're
Get
done.
outta
All right. All right. I thought that was just the chair or something. You good?
That was my fucking hip.
Oh, I thought that was just the ground that
That
you're
was my
stepping
bone
on.
just going pop.
Damn, you're fucking old.
Oh, that hurt. I'm gonna walk it off.
You do that.
Oh god.
Your turn to leave the podcast.
I've been fucking sitting down for 2 hours.
Damn, get on my level. I do that daily for hours at a day.
Well, yeah, I'm not on a fucking dact.
What do you mean? You sit on this for 4 hours every Sunday for D&D.
How much I move?
Well, that's your. You can move as much as you want on this one. The microphone moves. Anyways, do you want to come back for the rest of the podcast? Or you want me to just end it by myself?
I mean, you usually end it by yourself, anyways.
Shut the fuck up. That's mean. Hey, look at that, Lord Ghost Guy. Where you go?
Where you go?
Where you go?
Oh, hey, we have to switch our fucking names now. I guess you already did, but you know.
What do you mean switch our names?
Mine is still where he go.
Oh yeah. Streamer gone, where he go? Yeah, streamer coming back. You know what I hate. This is what I was saying earlier when I was like, he's gonna get a kick out of me coming back streaming. Is because he always makes fun of me not being a streamer all the time when I stop streaming. And like for the most part, I laugh at all his jokes, but a couple times I've actually been upset about it because I'm like, man, shit's going on with me. All right, I don't feel good streaming, or I don't feel like it's worth anything, and it
Well,
gets.
then fucking tell us, and we would razz you about it.
No, I've told him before. I told him about this long. Like
Okay.
streamer gone, where he go. I'm fine with that because I actually did like full on just quit streaming until I wanted to either come back for an important moment. But there was a couple times on Twitch where I was like, I would slow down streaming, or I would just take multiple days, and I'm like, hey, I'm not feeling well, I'm just tired. And then Dalton would make jokes like, you're not even a streamer anymore. You don't stream anytime. And most of the time, I'd be fine. But a couple times, I'd be like, man, it's hard out here for a pimp. Like it's I'm having a fucking rough time. Fuck you. You're like, your joke hurts,
I get
kind of
that.
thing. So, but I talked about that. But that was years ago. This streamer gone, where he go. It's fine because I was actually gone. That's fine. But anyways,
And it happened before that too.
yeah, well, because I took multiple breaks from Twitch because I was just like,
Well, no, it was like, didn't you like? Oh, what was it? You actually like left your stream, and then came back, and then it was that, or was it just like, hey, I'm not streaming anymore, and then it was that.
I went full-time streaming one time, and then I did it for 2 weeks full-time where I streamed every day for 4 hours a day. And after doing that for 2 weeks, I decided this is awful. I was having no fun.
That wasn't the time that we changed our names, though.
I don't remember.
I think the time was, it was you quitting last time. I think that's what it was.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember.
My biggest, because I remember I took a massive break because I was streaming kind of just on and off here and there when I was working at the airport. And then I finally decided, all right, if I want to make streaming my full-time career, because I was streaming way more than I was making YouTube videos at the time, because I wasn't doing anything for YouTube. I was just kind of making videos that are just whatever, vlogs or just random bullshit. So I didn't really have a plan. So I was just like, I'm just having fun streaming. So that was the one and only time where I was like, streaming is no longer supplementary content. I'm going to make this my primary content. And I went full force. I was working 8 hours a day. I would come home, I would eat something, and then half an hour after coming home, I would stream for 4 hours, and then I would go to bed. And I would do that every single day. And I was like, if I do this, I'll grind it out. I'll get viewers and everything. Back when that was how you were supposed to do it,
Sigma
just by
grind
grinding.
set.
Yeah, the Sigma grind set, which doesn't work anymore, by the way. Just so you people know, I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad at people who are like, oh yeah, I stream for 8 hours a day. I'm going to get big real soon. And it's like, you're still streaming just Valorant to like 2 people. I was like, buddy, do you have a YouTube channel? No. You making clips? No. You doing anything? You have a Twitter? No. I just stream every single day. I'm going to get big soon. It's like, I'm so mad about people like that. There's no understanding. But anyways, what was I talking about? Right. But yeah, I did that, and I did that for 2 weeks straight. And for the first like 2-3 days, I was hype about it. I was having a blast. I was going ham on it. And by like middle of next week, I came home from work, and I was just like, I really, really do not want to now get on stream for 4 hours and have hype energy and like keep things excited and motivated for 4 hours just to then crash and go to bed and do this again tomorrow. I had no desire for that because like, yeah, I like video games. I don't like playing video games every single day for 4 hours a day. And then doing that while being energetic and hype, and it fucking ruined me. So that was the one time where and then I made the video, I'm not built for streaming, where I was just like, I'm going to stream when I want to. I don't know when, but I'm taking a large break because I've done this for 2 weeks straight. And I got a couple of people like, you're only streaming for like 4 hours out of the day. And I was like, I worked 8 hours before doing that, asshole. Like, you don't understand. Yep. So, sorry, Lord Galaxy went, hey, and then never said anything. I'm assuming he was waiting for me to check back on chat. Or he just left. He was like, he's not understanding me. He Torson's down, went a fucking rabbit hole. He's gone. We'll find out in a moment. But Anyways, but yeah, no, I'm gonna come back to streaming now. You can change your streamer gone where he go shit, and get over yourselves. Oh, excuse me.
Strimber here.
Yeah, Strimber here, he back. There you go. One of you Strimber here, and the other one he back.
I'll fucking do it.
There you go. Because you're Strimber gone now, right?
No, I'm where he go.
Oh, you're where he go. All right. Well then, Dalton can change his name to Streamer back, and you can change it to No, Dalton changes it to Streamer back. You go no, fuck. Streamer go burr he back. What did we just say? Fuck. Roll the stream back. What did I just say? It was perfect, and now I can't. Dalton's gone. He just said hey and disappeared. He said hey and
Strimber here.
Strimmer here where he go. So Strimmer here he back. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. So one of you has become Strimmer here because you're Strimmer gone. So you become Strimmer
I'm not
here.
Strimmer gone. I'm where he go.
Okay, so you become Strimmer here, he back. There you go. Figured it out. Wow.
We did it. That was some mental gymnastics.
That was insane. You know what else is insane?
The fact that we've been streaming for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we're probably just gonna end it here.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know if there's anything else. Oh nope. We keep going. We keep going.
Shit.
We need all the ad money we can, unless you actually want to end it. But I do want to talk about something, but I could save it till next podcast if you'd like.
Go for it.
Okay. For the longest time, I've been talking about how eventually sometime I'm just going to get a 3D printer because I'm fucking tired of paying Yeah, I'm fucking tired for paying for G-Force. Fuck. G-Fuels. I'm fucking tired of paying for Games Workshop's prices and everything. And what are you looking for?
I was going to pick it up from the top, but that's not a good idea.
Oh, the bonfire? Yeah, no, it is flimsy. Yeah, there you go.
I guess I go over here.
Yeah.
This is something that he printed with his brand spanking new printer.
Yeah. So after talking about it for I think almost a year of talking about getting talking about eventually someday I'm just going to suck it up and buy a 3D printer because I'm tired of buying plastic from Games Workshop's exorbitant stupid prices, and I'm not
only getting worse.
Which is only getting worse, and it never mattered to me. About like you can't have 3D prints at tournament legal things because I never do anything tournament legal. The closest thing to a tournament legal I did was Animal Bright, and they don't give a shit.
Nope.
So, and Animal Bright's not even happening anymore, so that which kind of sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it was his last. The dude running Animal Bright said that was his last one because he was moving to Kamloops, and he did not want to be coming all the way down to Kelowna to run Animal Bright. It was way too much setup and everything to go the drive from Kamloops down. So he's continuing to run Animal Bright, but it will be in Kamloops. And I'm like, I don't want to drive all the way to Kamloops for Animal Bright.
Not with a bunch of breakable shit.
Yeah, not with a bunch of breakable stuff. And also, it's a 2-day event. I don't want to drive to Kamloops twice or have to buy a hotel in Kamloops or sleep in the car. I was like, I like Warhammer and I enjoy Animal Bright because it forces me to play a bunch of different armies and really like hone down and learn. Driving to Kamloops for it ain't not what I'm going to do. I'm just going to play in the other event that happens at Kelowna Comic Con. Whatever that event was.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. That's because it's here, and it's happening here, so I'm just going to play in that instead.
I wish I could be a part of it.
Of course you can. Why couldn't you?
I'm tabling.
No, Ashy's tabling. You're there as a boyfriend. You're there as a booth babe.
I am legally obligated.
You are not legally obligated to shit, my
I'm
dad.
a certified booth babe, damn it.
Yeah, and so is Alex. Alex can fucking run your spot. I guarantee if you sit down with Ashley and you're like, hey, are you okay if I go play Warhammer? I shit you not, she'll say yes.
Probably.
Yeah, of course she
will.
But if she wants she wants you to keep paying your half of the rent, she will say yes. Just hold that over her.
I'd rather not.
Well, I'm not saying actually do that, but you just say, you ask her nicely and kindly. She says, but I need a booth babe. And you just go, you also need my half of money for rent. So you let me play Warhammer.
Yeah, that will go over spectacularly.
That's the ace in the hole. That's what you play when you don't, when you like, you got no other options. Your back's against the wall. You're just like, you know what? Half a rent you let me play Warhammer. And you go. So anyways.
Yeah, that would go over well.
Yeah. But anyhow, yes, after lots and lots of time, I have now finally honed down and went, fuck it, I'm tired of this, and I've bought a 3D printer and printed off a couple of things. I haven't printed anything Warhammer related with it whatsoever yet. Also because it's rather difficult to find Warhammer models to print because everybody is very, very careful naming their models and files. Because anything Space Marine related or whatnot, you get immediately fucking taken down by Mr. Workshop. So, so any like Warhammer model you can find, it's like space soldier with giant shoulder pads and kind of thing that you have to search for. And it's like these weird roundabout ways that you find them. And a lot of them are locked behind Patreons. And it's like, fuck, damn it. And I don't have the money for that kind of shit. So it's So literally every single thing I've printed so far has been free. You just find on Thingiverse because Thingiverse is all free. So that's been phenomenal. And you already have to pay for the fucking resin. So I'm happy just printing free files. And it's been great. I've primarily English. I've primarily printed models for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, and that's worked out great.
It's worked great, except for one model that I'm still trying to print, the Savak Draconian, the big silver dragon. I've printed that motherfucker 3 times, and all 3 times it failed to print, and I'm so angry about it. So, Oh, by the way, Lord Ghost got back. Hey, Jackson, can you text this to Ashy for me? High energy, organic, vegan energy butter.
I know that meme.
What?
Oh, you're about to get a message, I think.
Wait, he's just going to text me high energy, organic, vegan energy butter? Why do you have energy in the sentence twice? What?
Oh, it's funny. Looks like I missed a call from her a while ago. Oops.
Oh, from Ashy?
Yep.
Oh, is she just on break?
I guess so.
Oh, well. Or are you dead when you get home now or something?
No.
Oh.
Ignore, I forgot about podcast.
What is she saying? Oh, ignore that. I forgot about podcasts. Oh, see, you're fine. You're in the clear. There you go. You get to sleep in your bed when you get home. You're fine. Well, I don't understand the high energy organic vegan energy butter.
I do.
I don't understand
It's
why
quite
energy.
funny.
I also don't understand why energy is in the sentence twice.
Should I spoil it, Mr. Ghost Cat? Or are you trying to find the video?
Oh, it's a video?
Yes.
Then why does he want you to text that to Ashley?
I don't know.
Okay, so we're both in the weird. You have more context than I do, but we still don't understand. Also, is her name still E on there?
No.
No, it's the full name. Why is your fucking Discord just says E? Who knows? But anyways, what was I talking about? Right. So yeah, 3D printer. I just nothing really more on that. I just want to update that. Like, I finally bought a 3D printer. Technically, didn't buy it outright my own money. We had people help from the Dungeons and Dragons group because they got to print their own models as well if they chipped in for it. So there you go. Lorgo says, I'm trying. I think Discord exploded and it can't find it online. Lamau.
No.
Get wrecked.
Basically, the meme was they put a can of Red Bull into a saucepan and like boiled it down to its constituent. Yeah, you remember it now.
Yes. Oh my god. And they called that high energy organic vegan energy butter.
Yes.
Oh my god. I didn't know that's what it's called. I've seen that video. I think actually
it was in our like go back thing. That remember when we went back in through the Discord like years and years ago?
Oh, okay.
Like not years ago, but like last year too. When I was still living with my parents.
Yeah.
We went through like years and years of Discord.
And you guys found it.
And
through
that was in there.
Okay. Because the way I remember, I think Nerd of Chaos is the one that initially showed that to me.
Oh, maybe.
It might have been Nerd, or it might have been Dalton, or I got it shown by both of you, and I blocked both from my memories. But either way, I honest to God don't think I have anything else to talk about in terms of updating for the podcast that I can think of. We bought a 3D printer. We've talked about Commander. We aired our dirty laundry about death in video games and novels and whether it's meaningless or meaningful.
Yes
and
no.
Yes and no. Talked about flight school, quitting flight school, unquitting flight school. I don't think there's anything else I could really think of.
Our pet decks as well.
Our pet decks. My hot takes.
Your pet decks.
Yeah. Oh, what's your pet deck?
Which one do you think is my pet deck?
Currently Urbrask.
That's the one I built recently.
Exactly. So it's your current pet because it's the one you're currently working on.
No.
No? Listen, you have 16 commander decks, okay? I don't know which one's your pet.
I only have 8.
8? And a 9th on the way.
7.
Okay, and an 8th.
Cabrionia was.
And an 8th on the way.
Maybe. We'll see.
Titania's on the way.
Eh.
Are you not building Titania anymore?
Eventually.
Okay, eventually.
Eventually.
Okay.
Of course, I need to have money to do that.
Fair enough. I mean, hey, if this works out great for you, you'll be fine.
I would say that my pet deck is...
Discord exploded at Lamau.
Is Treasures. Because it's the one I've had the longest.
Baraka... Well, okay, well...
And Barakos, I've kept upgrading it as time goes on.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's your longest one?
Yep. Every one of them was after that.
You had Rafik well before all of
Rafik
that.
is dead.
Oh, you took Rafik apart. Gotcha.
Rafik has
Okay.
been taken apart for like a year.
Oh, well, fair enough.
I actually have a list of what I actually have.
Jesus. You know it's bad when you need to keep a list of what decks you have.
I mean, I got Barakos, Necron Dynasties, which is still the same, Urabrask, Adamar, Liliana, Magar, Karlach, Ellersnorn, Machine Mommy, and Kinnan. Yep. Barakos is my oldest one. And so far, one of my favorites.
What happened to Tasha?
Tasha I took apart a while ago.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to reuse it.
Gotcha.
For stuff.
So you've accepted the fact that both Tasha and Liliana are not Ashley's decks. They're just your decks.
They're mine because there's expensive cards in there.
Yeah. I mean, Liliana deck had like all of Commander Black, and Commander Black was $80. So, and that's just 5 cards, including the Commander. But still, 4 cards in the deck plus the Commander was $80 fucking.
Yup.
So. And a snake token.
I don't even know if the token was in there.
Yeah, it was because it came with the
Ophiomancer.
Oh yeah, the Ophiomancer, because they never had a token for Ophiomancer, and Commander Black was the first time that token ever got printed.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't.
That's why that token. That's why that token's like $15 fucking because it's the only version of that snake that exists.
Ah, good to know.
Yep. So you should find that token. It's a little expensive.
That sounds like fucking. Oh, what are they called?
The worm coil engine
There
tokens.
they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those tokens also expensive. You know what else? The worm coil tokens are also expensive, and the coma coil tokens are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then there's Polkaros, which is basically discount fucking. I wouldn't say discount. I'd say improved fucking worm coil.
I can't remember
The
what
new Polkaros.
I the name sounds familiar, but I don't know what that is.
The Hydra, the green Hydra that flips into the Phyrexian
Oh
Hydra.
yes,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a Polkaros deck at one point. The Hydra deck.
Yeah, I remember your Hydra deck.
Yeah.
I think I only replayed it like once.
Yeah, and then I took it apart. But I would totally build it again for that deck because
Just for improved Pokeros.
Yeah, it'd be so fucking dope.
I like the idea of Hydras. I think it would be really cool. But I already have a counters deck, and that's my Infect deck because it's pseudo counters because proliferate. So
yeah, sure.
It's not counters in the same way as Hydras. It's counters as in like, oh, my Infect cards are now stronger. You get more Infect, and then when I proliferate, you get more Infect, and I get more counters. And so it's pseudo counters. It's mainly for the Infect counters, but still.
Yep.
But if I can make my Infect cards stronger through counters, I will. So, well, I don't think I have anything else to really talk about on this one.
I'm done.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming back to our reunion podcast after 84 years, 84 days. But we appreciate you guys coming down and hanging out, even if it was just Nerd of Chaos and Lord Ghost Cat and anybody else hanging out. I appreciate you guys coming back. I will see you guys in future streams on the WinglessValkyrie channel. Hoorah. And you guys will see him in future streams on his own channel. He's still on Twitch, so you'll have to go back to that barren landscape. I know.
Yep.
Fucking get called out.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, guys.
You think I stream for money?
Oh, okay. We're not even yet. I have one last question. I swear, we're not, this. You brought up something I was going to bring up before, but I want to think about it again. So you remember when we were playing? What were we playing?
No.
League. When you, Dalton, and I were playing League, and you went to pick up Ashley, and Dalton and I just hung out and chat, and we just personally talked for a while, and then you came back, and we were still talking.
Yeah.
So I found out something interesting. I hope this is okay, Dalton. I found something interesting about Dalton that I can't fathom, and I've thought about this like occasionally throughout the years, and I don't understand how people work that way, and I want to, and I think you're kind of in the same aspect as Dalton, and I don't understand, so I want to ask you so I can possibly understand.
Mm-hmm.
Dalton has no dreams or aspirations. And that boggles my mind. Sorry, he doesn't have no dreams and aspirations. He has small dreams and aspirations for like when he's retired. And that boggles my mind.
Not everyone needs to change the world.
No, and I'm not saying I'm going to change the world. Fuck that. But it blows my mind that people don't have something to work towards. Because I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can... Because that's the thing for me. I think that's probably the reason that like drove me into depression so much is... just waking up, just going to work, coming home, eating something, watching YouTube, and going to bed. And just doing that cycle every single day. I can't fucking stand that. You have to do something. You have to push your mind to something and achieve something for yourself or for something else that makes your life meaningful and gives you a reason to live and continue. For Dalton, he doesn't. He has video games. He's got people he talks to. And that's that.
That's all he needs.
But that blows my mind because I have that too. I have people I talk to. I do have video games. I also have a job. I also do the repetition thing. But I can't just have that because I go insane. I need to strive for something more. I need to achieve something to give my life purpose and meaningfulness to strive towards. But Dalton doesn't. And that's great for him because he's achieved nirvana. Because he's living the good life. He doesn't need a want for anything more to the best of my abilities. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because why I'm asking, but you're in a similar boat because the only goal that I can think of when I talk to you in terms of like what you want to achieve, what you want to strive for, is making tons of money as a wastewater treatment person because your sister did the same thing. And that is all I know in terms of your goals and aspirations.
I genuinely don't have any.
And that blows my mind. Because
like I can't think of anything in particular. And the reason why is because in my mind, I don't feel a need. Like that drive doesn't exist in that form for me at all.
And that's what blows my mind though, because I don't understand that.
It's just the way it's not something I don't think it's something you can understand because your viewpoint of the world is so different from mine. And that is the big thing. Like you and me, we're two different people. We need two different lifestyles, two different things.
Yes.
We may overlap in a lot of them, but this is one where we won't. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
we're
that's fine.
Different people.
And that's fine. And I'm not trying to like give you a goal to strive for or anything like that. I just want to understand because I don't. Because, a perfect example. Ashley is similar to me. She's got goals. She wants to be a cosplayer. She wants to be a famous cosplayer and sell artworks and everything. That's her goal. That's what she strives to do. Like working at the pet store, that's what makes her an income right now. But that's not her drive. That's not her goal. She wants to be a cosplayer and she wants to sell her artworks. And she wants to do something else I can't remember. But I know about those two for sure. And that's like her goals and ambitions is to drive to do that kind of thing. That's what her big ambition is.
A lot of that is, for me, it's a matter of overreaching would be worse.
So would you say it's more of a fear of failure?
Partially, anyway. Partially for sure. I don't like change. That's one thing that I don't really enjoy. Like, hell, I hated Discord for a long time.
Yeah,
I actually figured it out.
when we were still on Skype. Yeah, yep, I remember that.
I really didn't like Discord. Discord's great. And Skype is dead.
Yep. Skype barely even exists anymore.
Yeah. I think it turned into Teams.
Yeah, pretty much. It still exists, but whenever you go onto Skype, there's advertisements to go to Microsoft Teams. So,
And for me, it's also a matter of survival. Like I don't have especially before now, I didn't have the energy simply to do those things. That is not something that I had. So trying to reach and overreach and burn myself out would be 10 times worse than anything that I would do. And
Fair.
You have already felt that.
Yes, but I think so that's something we share is like, because a lot of times the reason it takes me so long to make a YouTube video is not because I'm actively working on a YouTube video and really trying on it. It's because I've burnt out and I've just exhausted, and the thought of filming, the thought of editing just wears me down. It's why I never got one of those Warhammer videos filmed or finished, because we did all the filming and got the playing, and the moment I'd sit down, I'd see that timeline, I'd be like, fuck, man. Like this is going to take forever. And it would just exhaust me just thinking about editing it. Just exhausted me. And occasionally I would work at it, and I got like the introductions done, and I got a film thing done, and I scanned a couple of the cards and got that up. I showed you that introduction and everything, and I was real proud of that. And then it came to the game, and I was like, fuck. Like, because I knew the problem was if I did it the way Mini Wargaming does it, it would have been fucking easy. I would have just uploaded it exactly as is and just put a little animation whenever the turns changed, and that's it. And done a couple of cuts here and there, and that's it. But I wanted to do it to the style of like play on tabletop with animations and different stuff, because I wanted people a reason to watch, just not another channel doing actual gameplay. You had to have a reason to watch it, and I knew how it was supposed to look up here, and I knew I could do that. But the thought of doing it and the amount of time, it was just like, fuck. It would take forever.
I think
Okay, well, I'll continue my thing afterwards. To be fair, I have, this is Lord Ghost Cat talking for just actual listeners. To be fair, I have more goals now than I did this time last year. I was literally a drone for 9 years working at the car wash. Actually, while we're talking about this, back in college, I had to take a behavioral analyst course because it came to light for me that I don't want to be the front man for anything. I'm not built for that, personally wise, intelligence wise, or anything else wise. I'm far much more comfortable in a supporting role. That part of the reason why I had my mindset on massage therapy. So when it comes to working towards that as my goal, I don't need to do any harder work than I already do. Otherwise, I'd burn myself out and fall into depression again. And that's understandable, and I can understand that. And
I'm very similar in that.
yeah, and a lot of people don't want to be in like a frontman role or anything like that.
I have literally zero interest.
And that's fine, but you could still have like big dreams and big goals and aspirations without being a frontman.
Yeah, and
Like a perfect example, you could decide I want to be the rhythm guitarist for a band. That is not a frontman. You are a rhythm guitarist. You're gonna be in a couple of pictures. You'd be part of the band, but I love music. I want to play in a band. I don't want to be the vocalist. I don't want to be on the front with all the adoring fans. I just want to play the rhythm tracks. That's still a goal. That's still an aspiration. You're not the frontman though. You're just part of the group.
I guess part of it is, for me, this is the reason why I don't have permanent things on myself, or I don't put up things usually like posters and whatnot. I very rarely do. I don't put stickers on. A lot of the times I don't feel like I'm enough of a fan of something. Like I'm gonna like this forever. This is gonna be something I want to keep in my identity forever. Like that's keeping that as a part of myself is something I don't necessarily do. It's hard to understand, hard to really articulate. I apologize if this makes no. Someone gets it. Thank you.
Dalton says that also takes personal preference into account, though. Like, oh, and then Lord Gusica says, "Yes, thank you, Jackson."
So, like, part of me is just like why one thing I'd never get like tattoos aren't something I'm really interested in. It's just like I don't want something on my body that would be there forever. Not forever, but you know what I mean. Something more permanent.
It's effectively forever.
Permanent. That because can't guarantee that I'd be a fan of it forever, and that part of me is just like. I'd rather not bother. I also fucking hate needles, so that's something.
Yeah, you and me both. That's two reasons I haven't got the tattoos I wanted to get. One, money. Two,
needles.
Needles. Also, three, I made this goal for myself. I want to be physically fit before I get a tattoo because it's like a I've earned this now. I can deserve to put this on my body because I finally have the body that I want to have. That's a different side story. But anyways,
body images.
Yeah. I don't want to become fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just want to be able to get fit enough that I can look in the mirror and be like, I'd be proud to tattoo that.
Yeah, going back to, it's just, for me, it's one of those, I have an aversion to having something being permanent, but also to change, if that makes any sense at all. Sort of.
It's a bit weird, though, when you say that and everything. Because you literally have the same phone background that you've had forever. And but you don't put a poster up. You can literally take a poster down. You can change your phone background. Like
I'm also incredibly lazy, and that's one other thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
And a lot of the time I don't feel that drive to go and strive above myself. And that's a problem. I know it is, but at the same time, I just never have had that drive to be the front person, like he said. And
yeah, but again, I'm not asking, like, I'm not trying to understand why you guys don't have the drive to be the front person. I'm just trying to understand how you guys don't have a goal to do something. That's not like become president. It's just like a goal to do something. Because for me, like, I get into the same rhythm as you. It's like it's comfortable consistency and everything, but I still get that drive. It's like I want to do something and I need to do something, or I'm going to drive myself insane. But it's because the mind is stupid. It's dumb and it's angry because the mind rewards you for being lazy. It's the worst thing because your mind is actively looking for every single way to keep.
It's the same as momentum.
Explain.
An object will continue on its same point or its same trajectory unless acted on by another force. So
yes.
So an object at rest will prefer to stay at rest until something pushes it.
Yes, but the object we're talking about has to push itself in this instance.
I know. That's what I mean. Momentum, like it's cognitive momentum, if that makes any sense. Like you're more likely to do something if you're already doing it.
Yes.
And if you and it goes with staying still or moving forward.
Yes. The thing that I'm just trying to explain about that is that because the mind wants to always be at rest. The mind wants to do the easy thing that gives you, because anytime you relax, you sit down, you get a bit of a dopamine rush and you're like, this feels good. The mind wants to do the easiest task. The mind wants to go under the lowest part of the fence every single time. It doesn't want to go over the high fence. That's hard work. That's energy. That's exertion. The mind doesn't want to do that. So, and that's why, like, anytime you sit down or anything and you're like, this is going to take your time, and it becomes hard to think. But the moment you sit down and you pull out TikTok, you immediately get the dopamine and your mind feels good. But a part of you is like, I could be doing something else. But even the thought about that, immediately the mind is like, that's a lot of work though. And when you push that down, you immediately get another little bit of that dopamine rush. And it's like, you feel good. And it keeps you in that state because
when I go to paint minis.
Yeah. And it's that easiness though. But the thing that's really worked for me is that your mind wants to do whatever gives it the most ease and the most bit of dopamine rush for me. But I know as well for me, when I finish a video, when I'm done, when I click upload, I feel amazing. I feel on top of the world, and I know I do because I've experienced it before and I can do it again. So I have to push myself. When I get into that moment where like I'm just laying down or I'm just watching YouTube or I'm playing, I'm like, fuck it. Like if I go film, I'm gonna have to set up the tripod, I'm gonna get the camera, I'm gonna film. It's gonna take multiple takes because I'm gonna fuck up. I'm gonna smash the guitar against my teeth and it's gonna fucking hurt. And I did that and it's painful. Oh my god, it's gonna be in a blooper reel. I fucking threw the guitar up and I slammed my teeth against the guitar and you can audibly hear a loud clunk and I was like, and it was awful. You'll see that in the future, but it hurt like a bitch. But anyways, so I think about that and I know when I get to that point, it'll feel good, and you have to force yourself to get to that point. And the moment you do, then you're like, okay, you're good. And many points through that, your mind's like, but if you stop now and you rest, you'll feel great. Dopamine rush. And that's, for me, I can't deal with that because the feeling of just dread of not achieving anything is unbearable against that tiny little dopamine thing. But for you and Dalton, you're comfortable there, and it doesn't drive you insane.
Nope.
And that's where I'm like, how does it not drive you insane to not achieve anything, to not strive for anything? And that's what I don't understand.
Build diff.
Yeah, literally. You guys are already at a higher point of nirvana, which sounds weird because I know you guys struggle with your own kind of things, but you guys are already at a point higher than me. But from looking outside, and
not necessarily.
Well, it's, in a way.
Like, I still have the same thing of like, I should be doing this. Oh, you should be doing that. And
well, yes, everybody has that feeling.
Yeah.
But yours are way more minimal than mine. Your thing is like, I should be painting. I should be streaming. I should be doing this thing. Mine's, I should be making videos so I can make money from them so I don't need to work at the airport anymore so I can make this as a career so I can do this all the time.
Okay, so you blow things. You take something and you take it to its absolute peak.
Yes.
Okay.
I see the top of the mountain and I'm like, I don't want to go halfway up and be content there because I know like the top is there and I know I can go there. Why would I not go to the top where I can see everything and get a view of everything? And I know I can. That's what blows my mind. Maybe that's not exactly the same. I don't want 1 million YouTube subscribers. Would it be great? Fuck yeah. Do I want that? Yeah, it'd be great. Do I need it? No. Silver plaque. That's what I'm striving for. That I am dead certain I can achieve that because I watch my videos and I watch other people's videos who have way more than that and they're nowhere near as good as mine. I know that for a fact, but they've been doing it way longer than me and they have a consistency and they have their own thing and they've been doing that forever. But my videos, I know they're better and I like maybe I'm just full of myself.
There is one thing there that I think I agree. Like if you read there, Lorgoscat says, I think the thing is though where Jackson and I are, our mindset is more the thing will come. Why should I work myself harder if it won't make it come any faster?
But for yours, as far as I'm aware, is retirement. Because he wants to become a massage therapist, but after retirement, just kind of for himself.
I'm not sure about that. But
that's just what he told me. So
for a lot of the things, that is true. And working ourselves harder makes it come a little quicker. And for me, that's... For me, it's definitely the mental energy. I just don't have the mental energy for a lot of shit. And that's an issue that I have, for sure.
But, okay, well, while you're on that, though, but what if you had the mental energy, what do you want to achieve? This is exactly what I'm looking for. What if you had the mental energy, if you had nothing in your brain giving you the dopamine for resting, and you only got dopamine for doing the mental energy that you do want to achieve, what would it be? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to know if it exists.
I mean, the only thing there is to be able to live comfortably. That's it.
Okay, but what is living comfortably for you? What does that mean for you?
Not having to worry about money at all, and just and have a normal life. Like, I don't need to strive for the stars. I don't need, like, I just want to have a house in a place, have a job, and work enough that, hey, I can go and do things I want to do.
But when you picture that, though, what job do you want?
Whatever one pays me.
Yeah, see, and that's where we differ. Because, like, I could be making $50, $60, $70 an hour at that airport, and I would still hate it just as much as I do now. Because the job is ass. The management is garbage. The HR is even worse because of things I'm not going to talk about on stream. But it's fucking abysmal. Even if I was making $100 an hour there, be phenomenal. Absolutely. I would still strive just as hard for YouTube as I do now. Because I would rather do that and make $10 an hour than do that for $100 an hour. Because for me, the money is not the thing. Money you use for your personal stuff. But how you achieve that money, that's what you spend all your time doing. And that's what needs to be meaningful for me. And that's why I wanted you to do YouTube.
Unless
and stuff
it
like
isn't
that.
the thing you spend most of the time doing because you make enough.
Yeah, but you got to make enough to get to that point, though. So you might as well enjoy the ride to get to that point rather than fucking work yourself nose to the grindstone doing a job you hate for years just so years later you can do very little and just make passive income. Because, yeah, when you get to that point where you could possibly just live off of passive income forever because of all that other stuff, that's great. But you still have 20 years of garbage you had to sift through to get to that point.
That's going to be regardless of whether or not you get to that point.
But wouldn't you rather strive for something that wouldn't be garbage? See, yeah, and that's where I think you're right, where we may never understand each other on that. Because I would rather work a job that I love to death for $10 an hour than a job that I absolutely fucking despise going to for $100 an hour.
Yeah, no. I mean, no matter where you're gonna go, there's gonna be aspects of a job you like and
guaranteed. There's aspects about YouTube that I think are fundamentally awful, especially for mental health and shit. But would I then go to the airport instead of that? Never. I would rather deal with that bullshit at YouTube than work at the airport forever.
Well, that's because one of them has more bullshit.
Yes, but like, you're never going to achieve nirvana in anything you do. Even if you work your dream job, there's always going to be aspects about it that you're not going to like. You're never going to get away from that. But it's about finding something where the good outweighs the bad, like, tremendously. That is phenomenal and pays well.
Another thing for me is, like, I just don't think about it. Like, that's just...
And I think about it 24/7.
Me, I definitely just coast. Like, I'm content coasting.
And I hate coasting.
Yep.
I despise it.
I'm a very... I'm a content person myself. I figure, like, I don't need more than I have a lot of the time. Like, sure, it'd be nice to have, but it's not like a thing I'm striving to always do. Which may not be correct in your view or in other people's view, but
I wouldn't say I look at it as like it's wrong or it's not correct. I just
don't get it.
Yeah, it blows my mind that you can't have something to strive for, to work towards. Well, I guess in a way you do. What you strive and work towards is comfortability, is just living a comfortable life, which is fine. And I guess that could be a goal. And if for you, that's great and that's fantastic. But for me, it's like that is like a third of the mountain.
No, that boring. Yeah. Cringe.
Well, it's like yes, you can, but like I want that as well.
But your view of it is different.
Yes. Like, I would love to have a house of my own and a job that I enjoy and money to pay my bills and everything. That would all be great. But I want it in different ways. You want to end this podcast now so you can go take the call? Okay. All right. Thank you guys all so much for coming down. Lord Ghost says 12 hours a day in front of the computer. Yeah, that'd be fucking phenomenal. Are you kidding? But anyways, all right. Thank you guys all so much for coming. I'm going to end the podcast on my own because Jackson now got the second call from Ashy. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys for coming down. I will see you guys in future streams later. Thanks for listening to the real long podcast. I hope it was enjoyable. We talked about a lot of different stuff throughout this entire podcast. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up and we will see you guys all later next time. All right. Bye-bye. Oh, it's muted, Lamau.